It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Ready? Here we go.
Let's do this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pause Your Game Podcast, where we bitch and moan about video games and occasionally have fun. Joining me today is Brad.
Hi, y'all.
Fallon.
Right here.
And Dave.
Hey.
Welcome back, Dave.
Thank you.
You weren't able to join us on our New Year extravaganza.
No,
but you're
I
back now.
unfortunately, and it is a little bit serious, my girlfriend's dad's been in and out of the hospital, so I've been very preoccupied.
Yes,
he is doing better.
That's
so,
good. That's good to hear. We're sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's hopefully not too distant future he'll be able to go home. So
that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
But I spent my New Year's Eve in the ER waiting room.
Oh, I know. I've been in there before, and the seating sucks.
It's an interesting scene sometimes.
It is.
Here's some of the things I got to witness over the last week or so. At the waiting
there's
room.
always great stories.
Yeah,
in the ER.
because first of all, in the ER waiting room was New Year's Eve, so I got to listen to the rocking New Year's Eve on the television.
Ooh.
And as always, there is no actual rocking in the rocking New Year's Eve.
No, it's not
No, there isn't. Dick Clark's dead. So
Yeah, they were still occasionally they would call it Dick Clark's rocking New Year's Eve. I'm like, really? You know, he's still in charge and he's dead. That's pretty impressive.
He's held it through the grave.
So, it wasn't
man's
too
got
much
staying
excitement
power.
that night. But then the next day when we went back, there was in the waiting room. I'm trying to remember all the stuff I saw because it's pretty. I got to listen to a woman describe all sorts of just delightful bodily fluid discharges.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I got to listen to somebody's like super personal voicemails with her and her boyfriend breaking up because she was playing them at top volume on her phone.
When I listen to break up voicemails that I've stored, because I've kept them all, speakerphone all the time.
Yeah, I mean
isn't
everybody
isn't
wants
that-
to hear this.
That's the way you're supposed to do it, though, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
So
Alert
then-
the world. That's how you
okay.
move on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had found this like little alcove area off from the main waiting room, for some peace and quiet. And there was only one other chair, but of course that one other chair meant that people had to come over and sit there and bother me.
Well,
so I'm
yeah.
sitting there, and a woman comes over, she's sitting there, and she's talking on her phone, whatever, because everybody's talking on her phone. And I have a bottle of Fiji water, and she goes, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I
From
got that
Fiji itself.
Exactly. I went to Fiji
I had
and
it
decided
shipped.
to come here. No, and I said, no, I bought it at the grocery store. Oh, well, I was downstairs, and they don't have that kind, and I like that kind. And she goes on for like 5 minutes about the bottled water in the... I don't care, I think she wanted me to give her the bottle. Yeah, that's not happening.
God.
I saw a kid... Now, this actually was entertaining. I saw a kid run full speed into a wall.
Oh,
Like, just... like full tilt, just like
Wait,
kabam.
was
But
he a patient?
The main source of entertainment, the main event, there's a
main
family
event.
of about 20.
Oh,
That's a
Jesus.
lot. That's a big-ass family.
All I can say it was like a casting call for people of Walmart
Oh, sweet. You didn't
because
videotape
they were
any of
just
this, did
like
you?
every horrible cliche human thing you could think of, including
Oh,
two
God.
13-year-olds dressed like wannabe gangsters saying, "Let's go find us some hot nurses," and I'm like, "Oh my God." Just,
I'm gonna hit you, people.
Really?
Oh, that that makes my day.
you just can't even. I should have had a video camera. It was amazing.
That's great.
So
That's great.
I mean, honestly, this stuff was distracting me from, Saturday.
Well, you need those
on.
distractions.
I know I did. I totally did. So, I
had a similar experience when my father went to the hospital and I was waiting around in the ER, and there was some interesting, not as no Walmart cases. I think they were less funny but more interesting. I know somebody was brought in, and there was this whole like hubbub, and I saw the ER crash cart and all that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, I don't know.
I
Game
wasn't
wise, I had my
back.
3DS,
Yeah.
and I got a lot of Street Pass hits.
Yeah, I wasn't back in the ER when this happened, but my girlfriend was telling me they brought a guy in who was yelling about that he was there to heal everyone with his healing powers.
Oh.
And so it was, Holodoll for everyone time,
I wanted to meet that man.
Yeah.
I would be like, can I talk to him real quick?
So
Me and him have lots to discuss.
Yes,
yes.
please.
Okay, well, that was an interesting story.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we're back from New Year's. Yay, 2014. Oh my God.
Brand new year.
Perhaps 2014 will bring us some games we actually want to play. That would be
That's
a good
right.
experience.
Yeah.
Maybe.
would love-
Don't get your hopes up.
That's right. They haven't
Right.
released anything yet, right, Brad?
They ain't really shit. Hold on to it like it's going out.
Nothing
of style.
comes out. Nothing fucking comes out.
Oh,
But-
bastards.
So there was, if you guys haven't checked it out, we did put up our top 5. Each of us put up our top 5 for 2013.
Right.
So,
we struggled for finding those 5 games.
We all struggled.
I didn't, because honestly, I did not play a 2013 game in 2013.
Isn't that funny,
I
though?
didn't either.
The only thing I played
Commentary.
that's and it's not out yet, so I couldn't count it, was Planetary Annihilation.
Right. It's
Yeah.
still early access.
Yeah, it's still early access, so that doesn't really count. There's nothing came out that
Right.
I could think of that I wanted to play, or certainly not spend $60 on. So
It's a pretty sad year for games. It really
yeah,
is.
it was pretty bad.
It was really bad. The only thing that was that at least I thought had the most on, and it wasn't like it was my 3DS. I think that had the strongest lineup this whole year because
It probably did.
Yeah, I think the 3DS had so many games that I was like, ooh. And when I got mine, I finally went through them. And when I was putting together my list, I realized like 90% of these games came out this year. So that's my winner. That
That's
was
not bad,
2013. 3DS.
Right, yeah, Nintendo. I mean,
And
Well, they had to
no,
do something.
I mean,
Eventually,
that
you
was
have to make
excellent
money
timing
to
on
pay
their
your
part.
employees.
Yeah, 2013 was the year of the 3DS.
Yeah.
I say that's who won that round because PC did. There's nothing.
Well, I guess I guess if you're going to release games on a portable platform like the 3DS, a year when nobody else is doing anything special is actually a good timing on their part. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cheap investment. You don't have to pay much to get into it,
Right.
and then you're there.
They got to pay their employees something. So, got to put out a game or two.
Well,
or 3
Nintendo's
or-
ironically one of the only companies out of the big 3 that make consoles that actually makes money on their consoles. So, because everybody else takes them at a loss
Right.
when they make them, they're the only ones who actually make money. That's why, like, Sony and Microsoft could fail and it'd be detrimental, but Nintendo could fail for like 20 years straight and still be like, we still got a big pile of cash.
Well,
just
that's
sitting
because
around.
they don't use the latest hardware.
right.
No,
They're
but I
always
mean,
at
that's why
least
they-
2 or 3 years behind of whatever,
Yeah.
PlayStation
that's-
or fucking Xbox is going to put
But that's
out.
what's worked for them. I mean, look at the original
Well,
Game Boy.
Yeah, no, it works for them, but that's the only reason they don't take a loss on their fucking shit because
Right.
they're not bringing anything new to the game. They're like, oh, hey, let's bring you 2 years ago technology, and you can play these games and have a good time. I mean,
they
when-
always bring something new. I wouldn't say.
I was
that they
about to
don't
say,
bring-
I was like,
I'm
this could get ugly here.
that's their big
what,
thing
what,
is
what
they
they
brought
bring new?
something
What
new.
oh, you get a tablet as a controller. Hey, by the way, that's $300. And if you want another controller, that's $250.
I love my Wii U little tablet thing.
Don't
But
you
that's what I'm
talking shit
saying.
about that.
What did they bring technology-wise new to the game?
Well, for a lot of games, it's the dual screen. You kind of have that like separate vision. I guess is what they do.
Shit? That's not new. That's not groundbreaking.
You
Oh
have to
my
understand-
god, I gotta have that. It's
Never-
not. It's just another fucking screen.
I like to be able to just take a shit and play Mario at the
That's
same
fine.
time.
You can do that. It's called a handheld device.
I'm not trying to pretend anything. I
You'll
know
never,
what I do
you'll
with that
never be able
gamepad.
to unhear that now. You know?
That is true. I mean, the
I'm
poor
not trying to pretend to
podcasting
tell what
community
people
just
I
had
do
to
with
hear
my
that.
gamepad, but I'll tell you, it goes like there's a lot of
there are
opportunities
places
you don't
it
realize.
goes.
There are places it
it's
goes that
been.
it don't need to go.
But I mean, you had that, and then the Wii had the motion controls. Like they're never.
But that's
they're
not
never-
groundbreaking, Mitch.
But they're
That's
never-
just something everybody's fucking doing now.
But that's no. But when they did it,
Yes, they did it right.
But
so what? That doesn't make it
You're
groundbreaking.
comparing like the present with the past. Like when they first did it, sure, motion controls existed before, but they made it accessible. And they made a big deal out of it. And then you saw after that, you followed Microsoft with Kinetic and then PlayStation Move, which all did considerably less than the Wii did originally. I never said they never have like it's never the newest thing, but what they do is they make it easily available.
Yeah, they're the Apple of the console world.
No, they don't. No, Apple would charge $600 and make it a sleek white and call it like what you know
An
the,
eye thing.
the
Sure,
eye
I'll
Wii or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh
it's- no.
god.
All right. So on the topic of groundbreaking, I'm going to segue
we've
us
begun
into
construction now.
into our topic today, which happens to be a different perspective and look on video games. We are going to discuss video games and art, and whether or not games can be considered art.
I'm sorry, Fallon. You're saying it the wrong way. You need to puff out your chest and say it properly.
You got your monocle in?
Attention.
Today we will be speaking about
We're
art.
going to discuss today whether or not video games can be considered art.
That's a really good stuffy voice, I have
For
to
some
say.
reason, I want a Jello pudding pop now. I don't know why.
You must understand, as we speak about art and artistic things, there's many things to consider, many facets too.
Indeed. Many facets to
Indubitably,
consider.
good sir.
Is it just me? I'm bored as fuck. Are we gonna talk about something or what?
No, I'm not letting him get a word in edgewise.
that's
I know,
kinda
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
all right, continue.
Art, all right, and games, and
Yes,
you know,
quite.
so basically, like there are artistic elements in games, and there's a difference between a game being artistic and a game being a work of art. And basically, so what we're really going to decide today, you know, for better or worse, and never.
Oh,
come
we're
to this
deciding
conclusion.
things? I didn't know
Oh,
we agreed
shit,
that
we're laying down
deciding
law?
things. Like, I was
Right.
ready.
We've got to
fuck.
convene here and make a decision, right?
I didn't
on-
realize
on
this was a.
Yes.
We were
This is
passing
fucking
judgment.
serious.
Right?
Passing
business
judgment.
now.
That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to throw a lot of judgments around today.
There's some woods in the fire.
That's not very
So
nice.
basically, I'm of the opinion, okay, since I'll start this discussion off, that
God.
the games can be art. That they aren't necessarily art all the time, but they can be art. And they aren't necessarily good art all the time. So there's bad game art, there's good game art, and there's games that just aren't going to be art at all.
See,
And-
so I think maybe I'm speaking for everybody. I think we all agree that on some level a game can be art.
Sure.
Am I speaking as? Is
No,
everybody-
I
I
don't think so.
totally
Okay.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think all
absolutely.
games can be art.
Well, no. Grand Theft Auto 5 is not art. I
Says
don't think
who?
any Grand Theft Auto is any form of art.
I'm sorry. Have you ran over a prostitute lately? That is fucking magical. I don't know what the
Was
fuck is
artistic.
wong with
No,
you, but that
totally-
shit is magical.
Yeah, I agree that not every game can be art. I mean, I don't think any real-time strategy game could be art or a simulation game or anything like
Right.
that. I think you've got to have something with a plot and trying to tell some sort of story.
Right. I think that
Even get in that general direction.
Exactly. I think that, and I kind of like broke this into categories here. Like, you know, I would consider games like Madden sport games or Call of Duty or even, you know, RTS games and things like that to be,
I toss them in the
you know,
simulations.
generic or bad art even or common, you know, stuff like that. Not what I would call art in the
Well,
true
they're not
sense.
even really trying to,
Yeah.
be art. They're
Right.
commerce.
Yeah,
Call
they're
of Duty
artistic.
on the
I mean,
scale
there's-
of art is equal to when you put your hand on a piece of paper and it makes a turkey. When
Wait
you
a
did
second.
Great
That
Deal.
shit is
That's the
same
beautiful. I don't know
level.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how many of you guys have blown up somebody, but that shit is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I'm getting at, you know.
An
I-
exploding turkey.
Exactly
Yes.
right. I think there's artistic elements. Absolutely, I do. I mean, there's definitely music and there's definitely writing and there's definitely visuals and things like that. Absolutely, but I don't think that just because it possesses artistic elements that makes it art.
No, I would agree with that. Well, there's a lot of games that it depends. It's so specific to the game. Because I would argue that some, even though they don't have that deeper meaning, are still artistic. Like,
But I don't consider them to be art just because they could possess artistic elements.
but what if that's all they are? What if
that's
what if
all
on-
they are? If it's just artistic elements, that's why that's what. And this maybe it's a bad category name, but that's what I consider to be bad art. And so it's like, okay, this is just common stuff. This is artistic elements, but it's not really considered to be art. Whereas something like you know, and I'm going to put this out here, like Farmville. Okay, I don't consider that to be art at all.
What?
No,
Yeah.
no, you
That
know
shit's
what?
beautiful.
I know, right? Like, I'm taking a big chance there with some of our listeners, probably.
You
but,
really
you know,
are. I
it's
think you offended everybody.
I'm going to tell you right now. I think Farmville is artistic in that it's art in how it takes money from people.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That makes sense.
Yeah, and in a sense that slot machines can never be art. You know, it's basically like it has a
Yeah,
certain...
they're fucking some pretty colors on slot
Right,
machines
exactly.
these days.
Pretty colors, right. You know, I mean, there's some elements there. There, of course, is visual and perhaps musical elements and things like that. But there really isn't really any potential for that to be art. You know, at all. You know, even artistic, even.
Well,
just-
but
it's-
see, the issue we're working on here now is that you've got art. Art is along same lines as music. Not everyone's going to enjoy the same music, just like not everyone's going to enjoy or say what is considered art and what's not.
I agree
know.
with you to a certain extent. But I don't think that you can call just everything art under the relative banner of, well, everybody likes something different.
Look, if someone can shit paint onto a wall and that's art, yeah, there's a big definition on art. I just want to say, in case no one has heard of this, that is a thing, and it's considered art. So there's a wide range of what art can be considered.
Well, I think it's possible. Okay.
I agree with that, but I really think that in certain situations, simulation games like Farmville, whatever, they're not even trying to be art or anything. It's pure commerce. It's absolute 100% pure commerce. The only thing they're interested in is making money. They don't care if it's great. I mean, I'm sure they care that the game's playable and fun and things like that, but they're not. I really think that you have to at least have some sense that you're trying to do something a little beyond the norm to even attempt to approach art. Now, I don't. On the other hand, I think you can sit down and say, "Today, I'm going to create art." Because I don't think that ever works. I think I'm going to create the masterpiece. Yeah, no, not so much. But I think a lot of stuff, especially in games. I mean, it's stuff to make money. Call of Duty Part 4,000,007.
That game's
really
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, those games are fun.
With more dog.
I really think that certain genres could never be art, and I certainly real-time strategy, simulation, anything like that. I don't, it's not going to lend itself to it. I'm wondering if a shooter game could approach art.
Half-Life. What about Half-Life?
That's well, I have one for later when we're discussing it, but I'll bring it up now. It's Deus Ex, only because of the storyline. Because it's telling a story that is very relevant in today's world, with government spying and things like that. I think stuff like that. I actually thought about Half-Life. Half-Life would be the closest probably that a shooter game could come to being art, the original.
I think
Half-Life.
Something like BioShock fits into that same kind of thing. It's one of those things
I don't really consider that a shooter game, though. Is what I guess it sort of is, but
more
BioShock is certainly
BioShock
very different than anything else.
BioShock is a movie that has shooter elements.
Yeah,
I did too. I love that game so fun.
Yeah, and I think what you're hitting upon, Dave, there is that art can't be made for just a kind of commercial reason. In other words, I'm not making this to sell this product. I'm not making a product to sell and make money off of it. That's not my primary goal. It can be part of it. It can be kind of like a secondary goal or something like that, I think. But I think primarily it can't be like the reason you're making this product. It has to be, in order for it to be considered art, it can't be like commercial in its primary objective, nor can it be functional in its primary objective, which is why you're saying like RTS games or, shooters and things like that. They're trying to be, what they are functionally first, rather than trying to be artistic and aesthetic in their statement or critical or political in a sense. I think that art has to say something. I think it has to say something in the sense that it gets you to think. And it gets you to think, it's actually trying to there's some commentary there going on, with an artistic or with a game that could be considered art.
Right. There's got to be a little bit of depth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Half-Life fits in there, because there's while it is a shooter and it's good on its own right for that, there are a lot of things that it touches on.
Like I said, when we brought this topic up, that I was trying to think of, I was thinking different categories of games. I was like, can a shooter be art? And like I said, the two that sprung to mind were Half-Life and Deus Ex. So
right,
Well, so let me toss this out here, because I always feel this is somewhat overlooked, and when a lot of people think of art, they always think of the stuffy, quiet and of course, and like art has to have this deeper meaning, and I agree with that. But on the same note, I always felt that like art's main goal was to, like you said, get you thinking, or at the very least elicit some sort of emotion from you. It basically makes you feel something. Is art's main goal, and a lot of art, just because of the nature of it, and I imagine this is very hard to like paint or get across in other mediums. But I always think of humor as a form of art. It may not seem that way on the surface, but when you consider like how it's done and it things like that, I always thought humor was artistic in that, especially if you could pull it off well. I always think it's the best. So, like, things like Borderlands 2, which we were just playing, I'm still playing. But But Borderlands 2, where like, yeah, it has like artistic notes, like you were saying, like the, for example, the graphics, the way they went about on that particular style.
It's almost like a comic book, almost.
Yeah, but that, just the humor in the game, I would consider a form of art, in that it's done like so masterfully well. Or even like the Stanley Parable, where that game is just like it's such dry, heavy humor.
Oh,
but
and you
it's
got
done,
like Portal 1 and Portal 2 then.
It's done so expertly well.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you here. I don't think that humor is qualifies something to be art by itself.
I think it's just overlooked because it's hard to. Well, it's
let
hard
me give you,
to.
Let me give you an example of something that I would consider to be closer to art as far as humor is concerned. Like something like if it said something critical about society or something like that. For example, maybe like Idiocracy or Dogma or something like that. That could be considered closer to art in the sense that, okay, yeah, here we got a product that is definitely of comical value, but that's not the objective of it. It's not just supposed to be funny. It's supposed to actually be saying something that gets you thinking about the topics that it's being funny about.
Well, okay, so just once again, using Borderlands 2, a lot of the humor in Borderlands 2 stems from the idea that it's poking fun at traditional gaming tropes.
Okay, there you go. That could be considered, getting it qualified.
Stanley Parable just pokes fun at everything.
Yeah.
Like pokes fun at like living a modern life, pretty much.
And I agree with you that it can be funny. I mean, it can do that in a very clever, funny way. But it definitely that can't be the only thing. Like it can't be like the primary thing it does. It has to do the funny with something else that it's saying, or basically with a bigger say. If it's critiquing games or parroting games, parody can be art. It definitely can be. So it's one of those things where, I mean, Banksy makes his whole thing off of that. So it's one of those things where you can do the parody thing, but it has to be parody that says something. It has to be. It's like the cow clicker thing. That is nothing more than a Farmville kind of satire parody.
Did you hear they remade that?
Yeah, and
it's now Cookie Clicker.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, it is art as opposed to Farmville, even though the mechanics are the same, because it's actually being satirical and parroting, a game genre or category, that is actually in existence. So It's actually using the funny, it's actually using the parody to make a critical statement. That's what I think makes it art.
Well, okay, so here's a question. I spoke about this game before, but I don't know if you guys have ever ended up playing Sword and Sorcery.
No, I didn't.
Okay, you bastard. Go
know.
play that game.
I'm going to try.
It's like sex for your ears.
Pretty much, if you recommend it, I ignore. So.
Yeah, because usually that's followed by some stupid Monster Hunter bullshit.
Exactly.
You just wait.
Guys,
I'm honestly surprised he's not making the argument that Monster Hunter is.
Oh, it's not artistic at all. No.
I thought for sure it was coming.
No, it's not art. I mean, unless you consider it art in the way that you murder monsters.
Right. Or unless you think they're deliberately trying to work through the psychological, Oedipus complex that I pointed out.
It could be. I mean, many things. It could be many things. And maybe it's triumphing over a greater evil. A David and Goliath kind of story. But I don't think it's trying to do that. I don't think Monster Hunter is the people sat down and were like, look, we need to make this game that touches on several notes, speaking about being the underdog and overcoming adversity.
Right, and here's the thing.
I think they were just like, we need to kill monsters.
Yeah, I think that Monster Hunter is artistic in the sense of the way the monsters are designed and the weapons and all that stuff. I definitely think there's artistic elements in there, but that's definitely not art. So, you can have those elements without it being art.
No, it's not art. No one sat down in that room and were like, we need to find a deeper meaning to like the underdog story.
Which is why I shoved Mario in the same category. It's basically like, okay, this is a game that functions well. This is a game that has certain artistic and stylistic elements, but it's definitely not art.
Well, okay, so what about because I kind of disagree with this. What about the whole like beauty and simplicity?
Let me tell you how shocked I am about your disagreement.
Let me explain to you why you're wrong, stupid.
Oh, God.
That's essentially what that just boiled down to. That's exactly what he just said to you. Let me explain to you how you're wrong, stupid.
Well, that just kind of goes back to that where there's people who have paintings where they're just like, we just jam this across and look, I threw paint at the wall and it's art now for some, and it tells you nothing
that's
except that paint was thrown at the wall.
And that's the thing where I disagree completely with a lot of things being said here today, is that just like with music, as long as you have a fan, and by a fan I mean your mother, it is considered music. You can't say it's good, you can't say it's bad. You can say you don't like it, but you can't say whether it's good or bad. And I feel the same way about art. If we are all standing in a gallery and we look at a piece of art and we're like, that's ugly, I don't like that. That's fine, but you can't say that's good or bad. You can only say that you don't like it. Same thing with music.
I believe you can look at it through either through a critical perspective and try to see if it possesses any elements worth speaking about, or you.
But right there, it's provoking you to either you're going to like the painting or you're not going to like the painting.
Brad, okay, I got what Brad's argument is that the fact that you're even having the conversation proves the
point that you are invoking, like if you and I are looking at the same thing and this is really cool, I enjoy this visually, I like it,
I present the rusty paint can.
Exactly. Okay, right there you go. That is poorly done, and I don't see what it brings to the world. I don't like it, but it's not good or it's not bad, it's just my opinion.
Right, you dislike it, but
I dislike it, but doesn't mean that the guy next to me is like, oh, that's really cool. I enjoy the perspective, or maybe the shadow that it cast, or there's something that someone else might appreciate, but it doesn't make it good or bad.
Yeah, I understand it, the squishiness of what is art and what is not. Okay, it lends a certain kind of
ambiguity.
Ambiguity to it, and allows us to say, oh, well, maybe we can do that. But the problem I have with that point of view is that you can apply that to anything. And you can basically say,
I would like
okay,
for
we're not
you to
going
go
to define
down
what art is because it could be anything. And
it's like, well,
but that's the thing, but that's the thing about art is it can be. It can be almost anything.
I don't believe just anything can be art. I just don't. I don't think it has everything to do with the viewer and how they
really.
Like
we'll
it
tell
or
Instagram to shut the fuck down then, because they're fucking taking pictures and that shit's art.
Yeah, that's not art. That's not art.
But that's the thing. But it is. Someone could turn that into a piece of art.
But that doesn't automatically make it art. I just don't believe that you can just put something there and call it art. You're talking about abstract paintings, and oftentimes people go right to here, speed splattered all over the wall, whatever, and then that's art. First of all,
modern art.
First of all, you can't really say with certainty that it's art. Okay, there's a lot of discussion surrounding that stuff. Some people say it's art, some people don't. But at the same time, it's one of those things where there has to be a certain deliberate kind of technique to it and everything else. There has to be a lot more to it than just, I'm just going to randomly arrange words on a page and call it a novel or something like that.
But you can.
I present the rusty paint can again.
Yeah.
As my piece of evidence in that there was not thought behind that. That was like,
no, there could have been.
I have a garage, and this looked neat.
Yeah, but no, wait, wrong. Because there's more to that piece than you're getting. Because it's like, okay, what does this represent? What is the placement of it? What am I saying with this with this rusty can? It doesn't necessarily need to be like something that you're constructing like the Mona Lisa, where it's like, okay, this is just so intricately done. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, if I'm putting a urinal upside down, okay, I'm putting it over here. What am I trying to say? What is it
you are poor at plumbing?
Right.
Yes, you're a horrible plumber, and you need to play more Super Mario Bros.
What kind of reaction am I trying to provoke? Am I critiquing, the critique of art? Am I basically saying, okay, I'm going to have people like puzzle over these two things because I'm putting them there, and they're going to go ahead and do this, and that will be very postmodern. It's one of those things where you have to. There's a definite deliberate intention there. You can't just accidentally shit all over the floor and things like that, unless the accident is part of the deliberate.
I think the intention of it was...
So then I'm gonna have to ask you to explain I do believe it's Andy Warhol's soup can. Explain that to me.
Okay, so basically, he's making the statement there that he's making a critique of consumer art and basically the reproducibility of everything. You see the multiple cans over and over again, and basically what he's doing is he's making a social critique on the commercialism of art being more or less commandeered and assimilated into commercial interests and serving their interests, and people lose track of what art really should be or is. So essentially he's making a commentary on that through his own artistic piece. He's not trying to sell the cans. He's not trying to make the cans anything more than they are. He's actually using the cans as the statement he's trying to make behind that piece. And as well as the Marilyn Monroe stuff and all that other stuff that he does, basically that's his whole shtick right there. And yes, after a couple times you get, okay, I get the point. I understand what you're saying.
Could you not argue, though, that same kind of shtick would then translate, if we were to bring this over back to games, is then into a simulator, essentially? Because that's all you're doing is reproducing what already exists and trying to achieve something that's...
Well, I'm just talking... I'm bringing it back...
He's not actually trying to reproduce the cans for the sake of making cans. He's actually reproducing the cans for the sake of saying, this is bullshit.
But that's what I'm saying right there, is that you are looking at it as a very specific thing. I look at it, I see a can of soup.
Sure.
Right.
Okay. I'm not saying that's bad art. I'm not saying that's good art. If someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, I want to sell you this. I want to put it on the side of your house," I'm gonna say no.
Big ass can
of soup. Okay. Now,
house.
Andy Warhol has done a lot of things, but if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I want to sell you this," I'm gonna say no because I don't like it. I don't.
Sure.
It's art, but I don't like it.
Right.
I can get 3 for $1.
I was gonna say I can go get some cans of soup from the store. I don't need the painting, but it does not make it. But it does not make it not art. It's still art.
That's right. You don't need to like it in order for it to be art. Just the same as liking it does not make it art. That's what I'm separating. I'm making that division right there.
See, I think this just goes back to that whole thing. Whereas if you're even having the discussion of if it's art, then it is in fact art.
No, I don't agree with that.
See, but that's the thing. Once again, we're back on the topic of it's a matter of opinion.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is.
We just separated your liking it from what it actually is as far as art.
Because
but that's the thing. Someone has deemed it art.
We have a perfect example of what we were just talking about, where Brad would initially, when he saw that Campbell soup, would go, "That's not art." Like initially.
No, I wouldn't. If that
on.
is hanging in the museum, someone has deemed that art.
No, let's say you have not seen it in a museum. You just literally saw a painting of Campbell's soup. Your initial thought, I can almost guarantee, would be, why did you paint a can of Campbell's soup?
That is the question, yes.
Right,
why
okay.
would you paint that?
You don't see the deeper meaning of the Campbell soup. Fallon, on the other hand, doesn't see the Campbell soup and sees all that he just explained.
Right.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then we take that same thing, and it was just like our Borderlands 2 I just brought up. And that initially, Fallon sees it, and he's like, I don't see any art in that. I don't see where you get that art. But upon further inspection, I bring up that the humor in that game is then, as we mentioned, is sort of a parody between all the other traditional game tropes, and then you finally see the deeper meaning and you recognize it as art.
I would also say that the developers have to actually have built, at least tried to build those elements into the game. If they said, no, we're really just making a game that, is all about people shooting people and good fun, or whatever. And
yeah, but I'm sure that, but you can't, isn't there like accidental art? Like, look at that, what just happened. And like, that says something. You had no intention of doing it.
Okay, let me go ahead and be very clear about this. Yes, there are elements the artist cannot recognize that can be part of the work of art. Absolutely, that the audience or critics can recognize they're there. As an artist or as a writer or whatever, you're never going to see all the meanings in a work that you write. However, that does not mean that, if you just put anything, million monkeys down, in a room and have them type out something, eventually you'll get something that's artistic, but not necessarily considered to be art, because they're not trying to create anything. They're not trying to, there's no intentionality there, at least unless we get inside their heads and can discover that they're actually trying to make art. That has to be
Great Banana Chronicles.
Yeah, I know, right? Hello, have you not read that book? It is amazing. That is art.
There has to be an intentionality there of something. Now, maybe that intention is failing. Maybe it's not any good, but it still has to be there. And maybe there's a lot more to it besides that, but it still has to be there. You can't just accidentally throw something up against the wall and say, okay, that may or may not be art. I don't really care. I just accidentally threw it there.
You say there's no such thing as accidental art?
I'm saying.
Then explain fucking dubstep to me, please. Because I, as a person, I don't feel that is music.
That was someone stumbled on it, and we got something here.
Exactly. That was. You can't tell me that was made on purpose.
But you have to deliberately be trying to create a dance step or something.
I don't think. No,
I don't think so. I don't agree with that.
Accidentally create something artistic.
You can
I totally
be
agree.
inspired. But you can't be. You have to. I'm telling you that like for example, moonwalking by Michael Jackson. Okay, he was trying to do that. That wasn't just like something you just like. Oh yeah, look, I can walk backwards here. And I just kind of did it. No. Okay, you might have like started to do that, like a couple steps, and you're like, well, that's kind of pretty cool, But eventually, you get around to saying, okay, well, I'm trying to do this now. I'm going to put this on as a performance. I'm going to like. Show it in a certain way. I'm going to do it to a certain rhythm.
My
there's a lot
example
of thinking behind that.
Against that would be any sort of art that is born out of destruction, because it's never it's rarely
wrong,
if ever, intentionally destroyed in such. It's never.
Talk to a demolition team. Right?
Okay,
they bring a building down.
Oh no! Wait, no! I got it.
Okay.
Anybody buy those like natural not natural but the calendars that have like the national theme parks, or not theme parks but national parks?
Okay.
That's art.
Is it?
Is it not?
I don't think so.
So you're telling me a photograph of a scenery is not art?
Not necessarily.
Why
makes it not?
What makes it not art?
Okay.
That shit hangs in galleries.
For the same reason, everybody with Instagram is not an artist. Okay.
But hold on though. They had some artistic intention behind it.
Yeah, they took that picture.
Previous definition.
That picture inspired them to do
whatever the hell they did.
Whatever they did. Like if somebody
a grainy filter on a picture of a cat. Something inspired them to do that. That is, in fact, art.
Yeah, I think it was pot, but that's just me.
It's still inspiration, though.
Okay, but what you're trying to say here is you're trying to say, well, okay, as long as they have some intention, that makes it art. I'm like, no, that's just part of it. Okay, it has to be there, but it's not the whole thing. So it's like there's a lot of elements here.
That seemed like your defining factor through half of this argument was that there has to be
that's because
there has
you're
to
just
be
saying
purpose.
anybody shit out could be art. I'm like, no, there has to be intentionality.
Yes, it can. That's the purpose.
I
just
totally
like
agree
music,
with that previous statement. Anything somebody shit out could totally be art. It all depends on how you look at it.
No.
A piece of shit on the sidewalk could mean nothing at all, but in reality, you could really delve in deeper into this thought process and take out something artistic.
There's definitely a critical view that the audience can have that's part of every artistic work, but that doesn't make everything that somebody has a critical view about art. That does not make it art. It does not turn it into art, and that's why your reaction to it is not the whole thing that makes it art. That's just not. That's why.
Well, isn't art just capturing what already exists?
No.
And presenting it in just a new light.
But then you're contradicting yourself there. If it already existed, it wouldn't be new.
But it's new because it's simply brought new to you.
Well, see, there you go, right
new
there.
Within the world.
So then by what you're saying, Fallon, Andy Warhol's can of soup is an art then, because that's in the store. I can go grab that and hold that in my hand. He's just reproduced it.
His soup cans are art because, one, there's an intentionality in the display. The arrangement of the soup cans and everything else matters. Two, he's picking out the soup cans specifically for what they demonstrate and what they show. In other words, he doesn't even really need to create the visual product there that he's doing, aside from the arrangement of it.
Then one could actually argue, just based off of that point, that the soup cans themselves are already doing it.
No, you can't.
And that it's irrelevant to have that.
No, because what he's attempting to do with the soup cans, okay, the statement he's attempting to make is not the same statement or not even the same thing that Campbell's is trying to do. Okay, that's why the product itself and what's behind it and everything like that matters. So you can't just say, "Oh, well, soup cans," because they're in your work of art there. That means that they're always art. No. Okay, that's why a pair of jeans, for example, are not art. But if you put them in a display, it might very well help to contribute or be turned into art depending on how they're used. In other words, it's not necessarily just what the product is. It's the intentionality behind it. It's the statement you're trying to make with it. There's a lot more there than just...
It just brings me back to the whole, if you're having the discussion about if it's art, then it is in fact art.
No.
Here we are right now, and our argument is like, what has the paint can, or has the Campbell soup in fact art? But then you're on the side of it is in fact art. Well, clearly there's a disagreement, and it's shared between more than just us with the can and the soup can.
There's a lot of different elements here. Okay, a store clerk stocks the cans on the shelves. Okay. He or she is not trying to create a work of art. They're not trying to say anything with putting the cans on the shelves.
How do you know they're not trying to say buy me?
But they are trying to set them up so they are appealing to the customer.
Right. For why? For the customer. It's commercial
so they'll
purpose.
buy them.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. The intentionality matters there. The clerk is trying to set the cans up so that they get sold. All right, that's what they're attempting to do there. Andy Warhol is like, no, I'm not here to sell cans, okay? I'm not here to take these cans and sell them. In fact, I don't care if they're ever opened, okay? I'm trying to set them up in this place here and arrange them in such a way as to make a statement. And as to make a statement about Campbell's soup or commercialism in general, okay? So you see...
So every work of art has to have a statement?
That's right. Every work of art has to have a statement or something, some kind of intentionality that somebody's trying to say something with.
I think that intention can come at a later point. I don't think it has to be part of the creation process.
I definitely don't agree with that. That's just like music. Music, if somebody makes music, if I were to write a song and the only person that likes that song is a family member, that's still music.
I'm asking you why you wrote the song.
Because it came to
me. And giggles?
No. Why'd you write the song? You didn't just like.
So what you're saying is there's a process to make it art.
That's right.
So any rap song about anything, killing people, for example.
All songs are not necessarily art.
But music is an art form, correct?
That's right. That's correct.
Okay, so any piece of music is art.
Just like video games can be art, but not all games are.
Once again, art itself is perception.
Look, if I played "Mary Had a Little Lamb" on here with you, okay, or Jingle Bells, okay, it's not art. Okay?
That's music, but that's the thing. That's your opinion.
But that doesn't necessarily make it art.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not just opinion.
It is your opinion.
I would say it's your opinion.
No, but it's not just opinion.
Hold on. If music is considered art,
you can't say all music is art by virtue of music considered to be art. That's ridiculous. No, it's not true.
Yes, but this is the thing.
I'm going back with that. It's if you're talking about it.
If you're going to generalize, music is part of art. Mary Had a Little Lamb is a song. It's part of music. By standards of definition, it is art.
No.
You may not like it.
No.
Which is fine. You don't have to like Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I
love that song. That's the greatest song ever written.
I think that you're confusing art form with art. Because I agree, not all music is art. It's an art form, but it doesn't necessarily achieve art. Just like not all video games can achieve art, or not all movies can achieve art. And not all TV shows or whatever you're talking about, paintings, anything. It's I think it's an art form, but for example, the black velvet paintings you'd find at a gas station in Southern California on the weekend, for the most part, are not art.
Right.
Although the one that I saw the time that it was a portrait of Elvis, Jesus, and JFK, that certainly transcribed it into the art world. But
that's art.
That's fucking art.
I'm not lying when I say this. One of the top 10 regrets of my life is not buying that thing and hanging it in my house because it was amazing. But you know what I mean? It's like painting's an art form, but not all paintings are art, and I think you could say that about music, about
But that's
anything.
the thing. If you have some sort of fan base, that is an art form.
It's an art form, but it's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily become art. I think.
Well, okay. So
then what makes it art then?
Yeah, that's the question.
Honestly, this is my definition of art. It's and it's like when you look at something and you say to yourself, "That's art." I think everybody has a different definition. You know, it's kind of if you go back to the old there's a quote from a long time ago, Supreme Court case about pornography, and the quote was, "I know it when I see it." I think art's kind of the same way for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
But
Everybody
that right there, that
definition.
statement right there, that is an opinion statement. Whether you like it or not,
at the end of the day, I think
it's still pornography.
Right, but I think at the end of the day, you can't. Everyone is not going to agree, except in I think certain cases, that something is art or not art. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. That's still an opinion, and my opinion difference from Valen's doesn't make a piece of art not art to whoever.
Well, if
I think it's art, I can think it's art.
If
Valen doesn't have to agree with me.
If we took that to its logical conclusion, and that like you know it when you see it, and then also apply the idea that everybody's different, that in turn would then equal that everything is in fact art on some level,
and nothing is art.
And
because
that
we're not. What you're doing is the same thing I've tried to get back to at the beginning of the discussion. You can't just leave it up to whatever anybody says. Okay, it's just not it. Okay, just like you can't just call a rock a movie or whatever. You can't do it. Okay, you can't basically say that because otherwise we have no definition for anything. Okay, you're basically taking the definition of art and you're removing it. You're basically emptying it of everything and you're saying, oh, it can be anything we want it to be. No, a cloud is not art. No, a house is not art. No, a dog is not art. Okay, you can't just say that.
Because I see paintings all the time of clouds and barns and
houses
and necessarily. And this is
but they're in museums.
And this is where an education in art comes in handy because you can say, okay, what does make this artistic as opposed to this? Why is this
your big argument is intention, and then there's things that are artistic that don't have that intention, and that's where this falls apart.
Like what?
Okay, if you, for example, this is kind of wanting to use the say something got destroyed or something.
It was destroyed for a purpose,
and that destruction left a statement, not on the same note.
No, Mitch, a Rorschach test is not art. Okay, it's not art.
I'm not saying a Rorschach. Let's say for the sake of because I've been let's bring this back to games. I've been playing Company of Heroes 2 for a little.
Okay.
So just the thought of say something got destroyed, the town got murdered because you're playing as the Russians. So like it got
Russians, they blow everything up.
Them Ruskies, man.
Right.
So it got destroyed. You're at, like Leningrad or whatever, and it's destroyed. That destruction itself, the picture that it painted via that destruction leaves a statement. But the intention behind it was not to make a statement.
How can it leave a statement?
How could it
but
not?
It's perception.
No,
That's the
wrong.
thing.
No, okay, this is where your argument, Brad, actually comes in. You can look at that and say, like you can look at a cloud and say, looks like a whale, and like it looks artistic. But that doesn't make it art, okay? Because there is no intentionality behind it. There's no statement trying to be made there.
But that destruction speaks to like it's so many things of just the aftermath behind it.
But you didn't create it.
But that doesn't make it any less art, and my argument is that's the point.
No, it was not made with any kind of intention or statement.
But it still has a message.
You're reading into that. You're doing what Brad says everybody does.
That's what you do. That's what people do. I mean, that's the Campbell soup. That's the point I made earlier.
A statement went behind the Campbell soup thing. That was
you seen the statement, but that's the thing.
No. Andy Warhol has a statement. Okay?
But that's the thing.
He's not a viewer.
Seen the statement.
He's not a guy watching clouds.
That.
He's the one who created the cloud. Okay,
but that's the thing. He has a statement with the can of soup. When I go to a museum and see that can of soup, I don't see that.
That doesn't necessarily make it art. Just like it, the fact that you couldn't read a book doesn't necessarily not make it a book. Okay,
yeah.
You can't just say, "Well, I don't have the capacity to look at that, therefore it's not art." No, that's your problem.
But that's the thing. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not art. What I'm saying is that you have a piece of art in front of you. You can like it or you don't like it. If you don't like it, you can't say it's not art.
But
But isn't that the point of view that truly matters?
You're ignoring the creator aspect of it. The whole time you're looking at it from the audience aspect. Look at
But that's
and
what I
create
am. If I go to a museum, I am the audience.
Yes, but you have to be the creator too in order for it to be. It has to have a creator. There has to be a creator with art. There has to be. You can't
Yes,
just
he is the creator.
Nature, anything. Okay, could just be snowflakes. Okay, could just be art. Okay, if you didn't need a creator. Okay, you
Snowflakes
can't
are
just
art.
do that. Okay, you can't just have a confetti machine, or sprinkling out stuff or whatever, snowflakes or whatever. That's not art. Yes, it's pretty, but it's not art.
No, see, I gotta disagree with this.
Well,
Yeah,
I just
sorry.
have to disagree with this.
Art has to be man-made. It has to be created. It can't just happen.
Oh, it totally can happen.
No.
I
No.
totally think art can totally just
Because
happen.
it lacks intentionality and purpose and statement.
No, I think it can lack. It could be almost devoid of all of that and still be considered art.
No.
Would be my argument.
No.
And this just kind of goes to my whole. It's everything on some level is art. What we're really debating.
That's why your definition can't even get narrowed down because you don't even know how to define it.
and I don't think anybody does.
Well,
in
no,
that matter.
that's not just empty.
It's an
yet.
undefined. It's almost an undefinable thing.
I don't think
because
it's
it has
undefinable
such
at all.
broad implications of what is considered art and what's not. Because we've gone over several times about people have differing views about what is
But
considered art.
the
or
audience
not.
is not the only aspect of art that matters. Why
But
is that
it's
so
the
hard to
part-
understand?
It's not that it's hard to understand. It's just that you have to understand that there's more than one person. You're looking at it from like the audience and the creator. I'm looking at it from just everybody. I'm not making that distinction.
Who else
between
is
them.
there besides the audience and creator?
That's everybody is when you put them together, but you're making the distinction that what matters is whoever created its intention.
You have to have a creator, A. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. Now we're there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So everything has to be created at some point
By a creator.
by a creator.
Yeah.
So
All art.
Andy
anyway.
Warhol,
Art.
for instance, he made that painting.
Yeah.
He looked at a can of soup,
Yep.
was inspired,
Yep.
made the painting.
Yes.
Okay. So that painting is considered art because it was created.
Like can be.
See, you're poking holes in your own
No,
argument.
I'm
Yeah.
not. You're trying to go with an all or nothing thing. Okay? You're trying to say
I'm not
oh, well,
going with an all or nothing. What I'm saying is that when you and I stand in a museum and look at that same painting, you see what you said. I see a can of soup.
Okay.
Okay.
The Farmville people were not trying to make art. Okay? But they did create the game. They did create
Yes.
the game and the visuals and everything else. That's why you can't go with an all or nothing thing.
But
Yes.
let's say
In order for
Brad saw it.
No, wait a minute. I'm not finished yet. Brad, in order for something to be can be qualifiable as art. Okay. In other words, in order to get it in the door, in order for it to be able to be judged as art. Okay. Yes, it has to be created. Good. Okay, so just the same as if you ever want to go to the Olympics, you actually have to put on a pair of skates if you want to do ice skating. Yes, absolutely. But not everybody who puts on a pair of skates is ever going to the Olympics. So it's one of those things where getting the skates on, that gets you in the door. That gets you qualifiable for art. If it has a career, and that's why nature doesn't qualify. It's basically a tree, growing up as a tree, okay, is not ever going to be considered art unless somebody did something to that tree to make it grow a certain way. Okay? That is why nature and things that just happen, like Mitch's explosion or a Rorschach test or an ink blot or whatever, a cloud, cannot be considered art because there's no creator. So that's how we draw the line. And we start to say, okay, well, this thing has to be created. Now, everything is created isn't necessarily going to be art, just like we talked about all those games that are not art. But they all had creators. So that's what I'm trying to say. You can't just apply this or that, either or. It's one of those things where, okay, we got this. Now we can start to move forward here and try to determine whether this thing is art or not, even though it has these things.
I think a lot of people would disagree with you in that nature.
Sure, I bet they would.
Is not art because a lot of people find art in nature.
They do. I mean, there are a lot of landscapes, and there's an awful lot of landscapes in the museums.
Yeah,
But you're saying that's not art. But
I'm
they were
saying somebody created
inspired.
those
They were
paintings.
inspired once they seen
But
that.
the paintings themselves are created.
Let's not say it's a painting. Let's say it's a photo.
And the photo itself was chosen and created.
But it wasn't the nature itself did.
Talk to
the work.
photographers. I mean, they will tell
the
you
work.
that they selected a certain shot. They selected it for its lighting. They maybe perhaps did things to it. Okay, just the same as you can do a documentary. And it's basically like, okay, well, this may all be like actual stuff, but you're editing it. you're choosing like what to show and what not. The moment you have any kind of decision and intentionality behind it, once again, it falls into the realm of possibly art.
It just sounds like that we're going back to my whole all or nothing thing.
No,
because
you walk outside
behind
if you walk outside right now and see a cloud, that really amazes you, that's not art, okay? Now, if you
I took a picture of it, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Right. If you took a picture of that cloud, the picture itself is part of the art.
So if I just lived my life entirely by recording everything, that's art then.
No.
Which then would imply that everything in the world is art that I've seen.
No, wrong.
And if everybody did it,
wrong.
then we'd all,
Once again,
everything that we've done and seen is art.
If you recorded your whole life, all that could qualify as art. However, would it be art? Not necessarily. What shot
to
you chose?
See, I'm just taking it to its logical conclusion.
No, you're taking it to an all or nothing absolute conclusion.
Well, that is exactly where it logically would run.
But either or stuff doesn't work any more than it does with anything else. You can't just say that everything is this or everything is that or nothing is this or nothing is that. That doesn't work with any kind of thing in life at all for anything. So you go ahead, look up science or anything else. I mean, you tell me that gravity applies the same place everywhere, you'd be wrong. You're trying to apply this absolute all or nothing thing, and that's just a flaw in your thinking. That's all. That's just it's an oversimplified thing.
There are a few truths in life that apply everywhere.
No, there aren't.
Just because we don't know them yet doesn't mean that.
Well, that's your point of view. But
I'm just saying, if you take that any bit of intentionality or any bit of like getting into something, like you've had some part in it. Like I said, if you could record everything, then every single thing in the world,
you have a potential to have a piece of art, but not.
Then that would then mean that everything in the world is art.
No.
Because you've actively
why it's not?
It's not?
Because it's your point of view. You're one set of eyes. Okay?
So if everybody was recording,
if everybody
in the world, if we all had Google Glass and recorded every
motherfucking
that's
gonna be
moment,
a fucking mess.
Every fucking moment of our life, and
our recordings would be the art, not the stuff you recorded.
I personally don't want to record every waking moment of my life. It's really boring. But I don't think you guys need to watch me do laundry and go to the grocery store.
But that's art. That is art, Dave.
No, it's not.
Remember how artistic that is.
No, it's
not.
But
somebody could see that as art. Someone could take a deeper meaning of
totally.
That's the middle class,
certainly,
or that's
an audience could.
But that's all you need.
No, it's not all you need.
I would say that is all you need.
So what you're saying to
not
me
needed
is that
behind
if Warhol painted that can of soup and nobody liked it, it's not art then?
No.
What if he painted that can of soup
and only his mother liked it? That's not art?
He had no intention behind it beyond, I feel like painting a can of soup. But then everybody else saw this deeper meaning, and then Andy Warhol was like, yeah, of course that's what I meant. And so
I think that happens. I think
that's
totally
exactly what
happens.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in that case, but I think that happens. I think it's possible for you to do something and then later on, see some sort of deeper meaning into it. Like I said, I don't think you can consciously sit down and say, I am going to create a piece of art today. It's going to blow you away. I don't think that works. But I think you can sit down and create something and say, later on, like say, wow, in the back of your mind, because the brain works in mysterious ways. There's no two ways about it. And, you create something, and then later on, you could look at it a different way and say, oh, I get that meaning. And I also want to just ask a question here. Weren't we talking about video games?
We were.
We were.
Like 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, but to talk about it, you kind of have to talk.
I think it was like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. You got to talk about art as a whole before you can even pin it down.
Well, that's like, this is why this is a really complex topic. I mean, we could literally talk about this all year long, and no one would listen.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. I think
58 art continued.
The lost episodes.
Yeah, I think that actually, I believe Mitch has said that the people like the more generic topics. Basically, they and so people listening to this might say, well, he's right or he's wrong or whatever. It's one of those things where almost anybody can latch onto this if you think about it for a little bit. I mean, Brad, you came into this saying you weren't going to say anything. You've already said more than Mitch has. So it's one of those things where, I think almost anybody can clue into this topic. It's a little bit intimidating sometimes. sometimes, or perhaps it's not. People aren't educated about it in ways, but it's one of those things where it's like politics. Everybody's got something to say.
So here in my hometown, we have what's called Art Prize.
Okay.
And one of the things that won that was really big last year was a wall size what was it? A guy hand drew. I'm not sure how to say that because I'm stupid.
Okay.
A Civil War photo. And won.
Like, wait, was it a real photo?
It was a real photo. He had a black and white photo, but
he essentially blew it up in a drawing.
He essentially, yes, blew it up like big time, and that won.
Okay. Now why?
Now, to me, I don't know why. It was voted on. It was judged. It was judged by the community.
Did they have any
as
like
a whole.
standards or anything? Any
Nope.
like categories? Okay.
Nope. No categories. You
whatever.
could go in there, and it was pretty much,
Taking your paint can and put it up on display.
Yeah.
pretty much.
I would say that.
So you're telling me that's not art?
I'm saying
because to me it was a photograph that was blown up and drawn by someone by hand.
And I think, and what are you saying? Are you saying it's art, or are you saying it's not? What is your opinion on it?
Well, it's art.
Okay, all right.
Why it wouldn't be in a competition otherwise?
I disagree.
Okay. Why do you disagree?
Well, basically, I would have to know, basically, what he was attempting to do with the work, and I would have to say, okay, yeah, this might, and this is where the category of common art or bad art might come into play. If somebody
but
goes,
see, that's the thing, right there. Stop, right there. You can't say it's bad. You can only say you don't like it or you do like it.
No, I can't.
You
say
don't
it's
get
bad.
to say it's bad.
I can say it's common. I can say
You can
on
say
what
it's
he
common,
wants-
yes.
yeah.
You can say it's common,
Yeah.
but you can't tell society that is bad art. You don't have that right. You can only say you like it or you don't like it.
I think I disagree with you just as much as anybody can say that a building is poorly designed or well designed. I think you can do the same thing with cars.
No,
or
you
anything
can't.
else.
No, you can't because a poorly designed building is something that is poorly designed and
Dave, you're gonna have
everybody
to yell
sees
together.
that.
But how
I
would you
understand
ever?
that.
How would you ever?
I'm going to agree with Professor Food here. He's right. I think that you can say things are bad. Now, whether you can back up that
but that's
opinion
the
with
thing.
actual fact and reasonable logic is a totally different
Right,
story.
exactly.
But I can tell you, as someone who freely calls himself a food snob, okay, and who can cook just about anything as long as I have a recipe because I'm bad with numbers, so I can never remember measurements and things like that. But and who goes to decent restaurants, I can say on the record without any problem that Chili's is terrible food. And I can back this up as to why.
But you don't like it. That's why
No,
it's terrible.
but it's
because
also
you don't
it's
like
terrible.
it.
Okay,
It's terrible food.
Well, if it's that terrible, how are they in business? How are they making
people
money?
are dumb.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
really, you haven't figured this out.
Once again,
turn
that's
on your
the thing.
television.
If
The
Okay.
food to you is terrible,
No,
making it bad
because
to you. You do
by
not
your
like it.
estimation,
No.
people can call McDonald's decent food, and it's not. Okay?
There are
But that's
people
your
who call
opinion, though.
McDonald's.
And Britney
McDonald's
Spears
makes
is
millions
making
of dollars a
beautiful
year.
music. Okay, this is why, and Dave just pointed out just perfectly. This is why you can't just do the all or nothing thing. This is why you can't just say, well, it's just a matter of whoever says, whoever likes it. No, you clearly see the problem with that.
But that's the thing. You're bringing you. It's you. It's your opinion.
No, there's a lot more to it than just my opinion.
Okay, so if McDonald's is terrible food, why are they making millions of dollars
because
a year?
people have terrible taste.
Marketing.
Right.
But once again,
Not
You're doing the
joking,
same.
it's
You're doing the
marketing.
same thing in that you're making your argument correct by using the same argument against him, and that you're like, why do they have terrible food? Because people have terrible taste.
Right.
but that's again,
You're
that's
doing
an
the same
opinion.
thing.
What is
That's
the problem
an
with that
opinion.
argument, though?
What is wrong with the argument?
Is that it's all opinion based?
No, it's
Every,
not all
but that's the,
opinion-based.
and
You're
that-
backing up an opinion with another opinion.
Dave,
Exactly.
Dave,
Trying to
feel
claim it
free
as
to tell
bad.
Mitch why McDonald's food is terrible besides what people think of it.
I mean, the stuff that's in it, it's not even food. I mean,
I'm not disagreeing that I personally find McDonald's terrible food, but what I am saying is that your reasoning behind why it's terrible based off of the opinion that it is terrible. Basically, you're using an opinion
But
to
Mitch,
make
you're trying
another
to isolate
opinion
here. You're trying to
fact.
say, well, the opinion is all you can say. I'm like, no, that's not all you can say. There's a lot there.
But that's what Brad's saying.
I
But that's
understand
what I'm
Brad's
saying is that-
and it's not
is what
correct.
I'm saying is that it's your opinion.
No, it's not just your opinion. That's why I'm trying to get away from this just or this, that's all it is or whatever. Like, no, okay? Your opinion is absolutely part of it, but it's not the whole thing, okay? Absolutely not, okay?
But for this argument's sake, that's the point. That's the part that matters.
No, it's not just what matters.
Well, we are clearly at a disagreement
I'm officially
here.
dizzy now.
Yeah. We are clearly at a disagreement.
This is like one of those things that you can't resolve.
No, you can't. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
because
game.
it's all about opinions.
Yeah. So back to that previous discussion of it. It's art is what you think is art. Basically, it is of only your opinion because that's the only thing we can agree upon on this whole thing.
I really am not going to agree with that statement.
You can disagree with it all you want, but that's all that we've been able to discover.
No,
this
that's
entire
not all we've been able to
conversation.
discover. That's all you wanted to hear. But moving right along.
He says by stating his opinion.
Moving right along, okay. Planescape Torment is a game I consider to be a work of art.
I agree.
Well, we were talking about games?
Yeah, I mean, shockingly, and I totally agree with this.
I never played Planescape Torment. So I can't.
Honestly, it's one of those games, if you guys have never played, and that's anybody listening to this, if you've never played this game, I'm sure it's like on Good Old Games or something now, really cheap.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an older game, but it's also a game that the less you know about it before you play, the better it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Didn't they just make a new version of it? I remember hearing
I
about.
don't know. I
Like
thought
some
they-
got Kickstarter,
It's
didn't
a
it?
Kickstarter. They're doing
a sequel, sort of.
Planescape Tides of
Something.
Numenera.
Yeah, that's it.
Nimina.
Yeah.
Tides of Nimina.
Yeah, I guess it's like a sequel.
Phenomena.
I'll probably wait for that one.
Phenomena.
They're supposed to release in 2015.
Oh,
Oh,
I got a
geez.
lot of waiting ahead
I
of
was
me.
gonna say, yeah, you got a lot of waiting to do.
Like spring 2015, I think it's.
Well, okay, so a game that I consider a highly artistic game is any of the Oddworld games, which they're making an HD re-release.
You
at
and your
some-
HD re-release.
Well, okay, just to be clear, it's not just a paint job. They're actually like remaking the game because the old game. I don't know if any of you played Oddworld, the old
played
ones,
a little
but
bit.
okay,
Yeah.
well, you know how it works in that it's like panels.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the end of the screen, it shifts over a panel. Well, they got rid of that in this, and they're making
It's
it flow
smooth.
all together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they're like reworking it from the ground up so it works properly. But that comes out in 2014, and I would consider that game very artistic because it speaks to topics of like destroying the environment, greed, slavery. Like there's a lot of
Good stuff.
Good, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that it hits at while not using, while not trying to be, I guess, too harsh about it. Like they touch on it in a comical way,
Yeah, the humor
but
is-
there's
They don't hit you over the head with it.
they don't hit you over the head with it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some dark moments, especially at the start of the second
I haven't
game.
played those enough to really give an opinion, but I see where you're going with it, and
I definitely
Yeah.
when the remake comes out, worth every cent. They're great games. They do speak on a lot of like deeper levels, and they're just fun. They're fun games.
I can tell you what's not art.
Mm.
Anything retro 8-bit.
I'm sorry, that's all
End
art.
of discussion.
That's all art.
No,
All of
it's
art.
crap.
Because
It's
Dave
absolute
doesn't
crap.
like it.
It's the McDonald's dumpster of the gaming world.
No, see, I got to disagree because then I got like sword and sorcery on my list.
I haven't
and
played that, so I know
it
nothing
lends
about it.
itself by being not graphic, by being like almost 8-bit. It actually adds to it because it forces you to not focus on the visuals and focus on the music, which is the whole point of the game. So I think in that case, it actually lends itself very well to the worse graphics, and that it forces the listener to like shift their view over or shift their focus over to the sounds rather than the actual visuals. That's just my opinion on the matter. You should go play Sword and Sorcery. It's like sex for your ears. I keep throwing this
Sex
out there.
for your ears.
Your ears will never have been so aroused. Seriously though,
Can you
It's
say
got-
that on TV? I don't think you
we're
can
on
say
radio,
that.
and this is
Yeah,
the
why
internet.
not?
Titillating our audience. That's all.
There you go.
That's right.
A game that I thought of that and I don't know why this came to mind this morning actually was a Katamari.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, Katamari Damacy?
Yeah. The whole gathering stuff up in a ball. It's such an odd
Oh,
concept.
that game is so fun.
It's
Yeah.
just an odd, like someone described that game to me originally. I'm like,
LSD trip.
That's really odd, but I need to see this. And then I was at their house and I saw the game, and it was like, this makes no sense, but it's awesome.
It's my favorite thing in the world that doesn't make any sense.
The whole concept of it. I don't know. There's something artistic about it. Like it's just
can't put your finger on it.
I can't put my finger on why, but there's just the concept of it is just so bizarre, but yet it totally works and it makes sense and it's addictive. So
get back to it. That's our question of the week. What is the deeper meaning of Katamari Damacy?
Right.
I'll put that question in our show notes. So we want to hear your answer.
I need a bigger ball of junk. I don't know.
How big of a ball of junk you can make.
No, I got it. It speaks to our newfound problem of hoarding. That is.
There you go. Yeah.
Digital hoarding.
Digital hoarding. Perfect.
There you go.
So any other artistic games?
I would like to talk about Planescape for just in general terms. I know that Dave is correct with saying the less you say about this game, the better. I'm going to do my best to dance around the specifics. But basically, Planescape is work of art because basically the style, the style of the game, the visual style of the city of Sigil and things like that. The ideas, the concepts, most importantly, are just unheard of in a lot of other games as far as like different things that are going on in there. I want to mention a few, but again, I don't want to spoil it. But there are things in there that you will see, concepts that you just will not get almost anywhere else. And the characters are each distinct, well written, in the sense that they're all very much who they are, but in their own very unique ways, and they have their own story, and they disagree with each other. They have their personalities fully fleshed out. So in a lot of ways, you have visual design. The diegetic sound, if you know what that is, folks, is the non-musical sound, like in movies or whatever, like background, what we consider to be background noise or conversations in the background and things like that. That is all on point. I mean, there's actually one particular part of the game that I just completely laugh my ass on. You sit outside somebody's window, a couple, and they're actually having an argument, and you can sit there and listen for like 3 minutes and listen to them argue back and forth if you move outside their window to do this. And it's just like one little bit of a bigger game that is like, it has all kinds of little things in there that just make it come alive, just make it, develop it in ways that have nothing to do with game mechanics or nothing to do with the actual like story driven plot, and things like that. Just things that make the game so much more to discover, so much more there in ways that are not necessarily like, oh, let's get from point A to point B to point C and done, and things like that. So I would say that, Planescape Torment for visual, audio, writing, all of it is really top notch.
And I think the thing to remember about Planescape Torment is especially all this stuff when it came out. Like
exactly,
no one had even attempted anything like
this.
When
15 years ago.
Yeah, it's like 15 years old. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's an old game.
Yeah.
And you're talking about visual. Then you have to. The one that I thought of immediately is Myst.
Yeah.
Ironically, never played any of those.
Yeah, Myst and the Seventh Guest.
Specifically that one.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I never played any of the Myst. I mean, I've heard of them, and I've played games similar to Myst, but just
again, it's when it came out, it was the artistic style was so different from anything anybody had tried before.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it's and Seventh Guest again, the art style, and it was really the first interactive game that started that whole era. So
absolutely, and I would say that Myst, stands out because so much of what Myst is just like you have to, without telling you, it has to draw you in. It's basically you have to want to interact. You have to read stuff into it. It's got to make you do that. So
it draws you in by curiosity.
Yeah, well, not just that, but it everything that's put into that game, it has to specifically draw you in a specific way, and without necessarily holding your hand or pulling you by the nose and basically saying, "Well, look, see here," it's like
Well, it sounds like any old school adventure game where you have to click and figure out where you're going.
Yeah, but it goes beyond. I think it's the environment and the art and all that stuff is just it was really different than your standard adventure game.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you boil it down to something, it's an adventure game, point and click adventure game, but it's just the way it was presented especially at the time, because what's that game? 20 years old now at this point? Or,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a '90s game.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was way different than anything that anybody had done before. So now here's a thought here that I had too when we were having this discussion. Is it possible when we're talking about video games?
Yeah.
Is it possible for a major publisher of video games to do something artistic?
Yeah.
I say no. In this day and age, I absolutely say no.
Okay, wait. Well, let's define major publisher.
Well,
okay.
EA,
there's
Take-Two.
There's some big publishers. I mean, they're bigger than indies, but I wouldn't call them like EA. I mean, that's why I'm just wondering.
Well, let's go with the big obvious ones like EA and Blizzard and BioWare and the rest of them.
Well, Blizzard does an art form called beta, where they put out a game and it's perfectly functional.
Like call annoy the fuck out of Brad.
Yeah, it's perfectly functional.
Is definitely unequivocally in art form that they do.
They've perfected this art form.
But have you not seen any of the concept art that they've done? It may not make it into the video game because of limitations of movement and whatnot.
Right?
But
yeah, I'm not talking about the concept art. I'm talking more about just like. We're talking about games like Planescape Torment and Myst and things like that. In this day and age, I don't see an EA or a big company like that taking the time to push the envelope in any way other than monetization. They'll push the envelope on that. But I don't. Now again, independent games. I think if you look on Steam, there's a ton of people doing really interesting things. Right. Like you talked about the Stanley Parable, I think it's what it is. I've only seen a little bit of that. I haven't played. I've just
go play the demo. It's worth it.
Yeah, that's why I played the demo, and I haven't played the actual game.
Dave, I'm gonna say that it's possible, but most likely improbable that they're going.
I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. I think it could happen.
Dumb luck, maybe, but not.
Brad brought this up before the show. A specific game. I don't think we've mentioned it while we've been recording.
Oh yeah,
Okami was made by Capcom, and that's a very, very artistic,
how old is that
stylized game.
Yes.
So that
once
again, Capcom's not as big as EA.
Yeah, but how old is that game?
06.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's.
That was in the PlayStation and the PS2. And the PS2.
I just think the
and
game
the PS2. I think
changed so much. Since then, I just, I don't.
I'm just trying to rack through my brain of like what I would consider like one of the traditional players.
I think it's much more likely that a big company is going to make something artistic, but not really art. That's really
right.
Where
they're probably not going to do anything that touches on something deep.
Yeah.
But they'll definitely do something that has its own, like, ooh, that looks pretty, or that's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Okami is definitely that looks pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I see with big companies. You can like a big company can make a blockbuster movie, and it really like special effects and everything like that. But
I don't think anything this day and age you would see it, because I can definitely think of older games that were made by big companies that definitely had artistic value. I mean, Oddworld is a perfect example. That was a big company back in the day in PlayStation era, which is now considered like an indie team. Like, but back then it was big, and it definitely spoke to a larger.
See, I just think if you today, 2014, you came into an EA or whoever.
Oh, I don't think
with that game concept, they'd laugh you right out the door.
Oh, they'd be like, "Yeah, what? You have a skinny alien-looking creature that saves his buddies that are all in slavery, which has this greater tone talking about greed." Like, that would be like, get the fuck out.
Where's the DLC?
Where's the DLC? What can we do DLC wise to make me some more money?
What can we sell to these people?
Yeah.
I was like, well,
can you get a special hat?
You just sell
for $4.99.
Costume packs.
Then maybe we
Team
can
Fortress 2 style. Everything.
I just think these big companies are so big and just so bottom line focused that I just think anything we're trying to tell a story beyond simple stuff, it's just not going to happen. I could be wrong.
I would say it's highly improbable.
Highly improbable.
I
I
it's
suppose
not impossible, but it's highly improbable.
But you're not going to see a lot of them. If they're going to be few and far between.
Yep.
And then the second one does take off, it's going to be its artistic value will be ruined by the sequel.
Right, exactly.
somehow.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they'll
So,
definitely
yeah.
screw it up with the sequel.
Yes.
So, I mean-
Days X, perfect example.
Right. It's the second we're like, oh, that was really interesting. We got to make another one. A lot of people liked
Let's
it.
just formulatize
And then it's like,
that and just pump it
Yeah.
out for a sequel.
well, yeah, it's
Well,
like
yeah.
I never played this game personally, but what was it? The Last of Us was like a big everyone like hoot and hollered about that game, and I've never played it. But
well,
I'm sure,
I think they were mostly hooting and hollering about the technology they used to get like the facial recognition and
Well,
all
I
that
thought it was
jazz,
the
and so-
storytelling. Everybody was like, "Oh, it was."
Well, I know they made a big deal about the the facial recognition and all that, and
right, but I know a lot of people didn't care for the combat, but I know a lot. It was always like, "Ooh, the story drew me in," like
Yeah.
one of those. And I'm sure the second, a lot of people are like, "Oh, make a sequel," but then on the same note, you have people going like, "No, that's gonna kill what was good of the first one. Like, just let it be," kind of thing,
no.
and it'll be good on its own. But I don't know. Who knows? It's like BioShock. Like BioShock 2, while a fun game, definitely lost some of the artistic value.
Absolutely.
Even I loved BioShock 2, but it definitely did not touch on those notes that BioShock 1 did.
And I think even BioShock 3 wrestled with getting back to what BioShock 1 did so well. And it's
You
one
mean
of those things
Infinite?
where, they climbed back a little bit, but it's one of those things where, a lot of times, I think Andy Warhol was onto something when he was trying to put it out that you can't just reproduce. You can't just reproduce and make art. He's making that social critical statement there, artistic statement. So
All right. Well, we've been at this for a while.
yes, we have.
So
Great
let's
discussion.
let's wrap this up with what do you feel what's the best game example that represents art? Your choice. So I think Fallon, we already know
Yeah.
yours. It's a Planescape Torment.
Yeah.
So Dave, is yours the same or?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go also with Planescape Torment.
Okay, and then Brad.
Well, I mean, if we're not talking visuals, and going by story, I would say probably the Thomas Was Alone.
Okay.
The graphics are very basic, but the story is just amazing.
Okay. And obviously, I think we know I'm going with Oddworld, but specifically, I'm going to go with the first one, which is Abe's Odyssey.
No Monster Hunter.
Not now.
Not
Not
the way
much
the
art
blood
Monster
splatters
Hunter.
on the ground and do something. It doesn't
Unless it's
inspire
art
you
and
to
that, like,
kill more monsters.
Right, unless it's art of like you holding up the dead head of like whatever you killed, but and putting it on a pike.
Yeah.
Now,
I would like to invite
So-
our listeners to feel free to comment on who they agree with or what they think about this discussion or what they consider to give us your games that you consider to be art if you want.
right, and what games you feel are not art at all or furthest from it.
That's right.
Like
Absolutely.
more dogs in Call of Duty. Like we want to.
That's right. We want to have we want to have conversation here and extend it beyond the podcast if we can. So
Bark of Duty.
Bark of Duty.
Bark of Duty.
I'll buy it.
The next Andy Warhol.
Right.
The next
Exactly.
Andy Warhol.
A Call of Duty game made entirely of dogs.
Someone's gonna have to go take a picture of a German Shepherd now. Put some put some painting, like oil painting filter over it.
There you go.
And then just put like an Andy Warhol signature in the corner.
There you go.
And you know what? That could be that could have the potential
I
to be
think
considered
that-
art.
I think that could be, because that would be the modern version of his
It would be.
Campbell
It
soup
would
can.
be. And it'd be making the same statement, have the intentionality behind it. Dogs will be selected. You already picked out a German Shepherd. I mean, you got all the elements there that I was saying, need to qualify you for a possible work
And then
of art.
we'll just put like a Call of Duty box art around it. We'll be good to go.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Well, that's it, everybody. Next week, we have already planned what we're doing. We will be doing our make our own game, little fun adventure, and we're going to be using Dave's idea. Dave, if you remember.
Yes.
Adult Bookstore Tycoon.
Right.
So next week we are going to be like, our next episode will be creating. If we were to create such a game, we're going to be talking about mechanics, how it works, all that. We're going to have fun with that next week. So with that said, we will see you all then. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You can reach us at pauseyourgame.com. Feel free to contact us at podcast@pauseyourgame.com and on Twitter @pauseyourgame. If you really enjoyed this show, please rate us on iTunes. It really goes a long way in helping us out. And once again, thanks for listening.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Ready? Here we go.
Let's do this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Pause Your Game Podcast, where we bitch and moan about video games, occasionally having fun. Joining me today is Brad.
Hey, y'all.
Fallon, of course.
Yo.
And Dave again. Dave's back.
I'm back.
Hey Dave! How's it going, Dave?
Hey, you took he's not on a boat no more.
No.
He's not on a boat.
Not on a boat.
Alright.
Well, I just think that for now on, you just constantly go to boats. That's just where
That would
you
be
go.
nice, but
Yeah,
no.
wouldn't
So he
it?
does his recording on his yacht.
Yeah, he just says, he has
in
his yacht
between
that
whaling,
does
in between whaling sessions, Dave takes time out to record Pause Your Game.
and
Right.
then just
So,
continues
Self-driving
his,
yacht.
yes.
right.
Yes.
Continues his hunt for the white whale.
Yes,
The great white whale
Yeah.
of the North Atlantic.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So, so just a little news before we get into everything. We turn 21 next episode. We can, Pause Your Game can legally drink. I'm excited.
I know, right?
I'm
Because
ready.
this is an American podcast. This is actually a milestone for us.
Right.
If we were European, we'd be drinking 2 episodes ago.
Two episodes. It's still drinking at this point. So, yeah, 21. We're going to be doing a drinking episode next week. We haven't figured out what we're doing. We just know alcohol will be involved. So that's sure to have some fun involved there. But beyond from that, we have an article. Brad put up an article. It's for our fellow Steam druggies.
Which
Yes.
I edited.
Yeah, of course.
Took you fucking forever, too.
Yeah,
God
I'm a
damn.
busy man, okay? With all the shit that Mitch throws at me to edit and everything
I haven't
else.
thrown anything at you this week, so I don't even want to hear it.
There's a lot
up,
of eating
alright?
to do.
Yeah, he's got a lot. Professor Food here.
has a lot of
Yes.
food to test.
I actually made something.
It just sits in his kitchen
I
like
made
pouring.
something new this week. I'm pretty proud of my cooking skills. They are improving.
It's-
He made
surely.
toast.
He
didn't
made
burn it.
He made box brownies.
I know,
straight out of the
right?
box.
Oh.
Brad.
Straight out of the box.
What?
I know.
Wow.
Food Network is
came
going to be on
out.
the phone
They
in
came
5
out.
seconds. Giving
We're
him
going
a
to lose
show.
Fallon to Food Network.
Food
Keep that
Network.
shit up.
It's gonna be his
Box
special.
brownies, really?
That's it.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
we already got the name worked out. Professor Food.
Yeah.
Cook
we already
with
gave him the
Professor
name.
Food.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's check out for his new special on Food
Podcast
Network.
is going to turn into the food corner.
That's right.
Oh, God damn it.
You too can cook with Professor Food. Win a
Now we
chance.
turn to Professor Food this week for his episode of baking brownies out of the box.
How to follow instructions. So we got an episode up. Brad put up. It's about the 12 steps of dealing with Steam sales. So if you're like us and you have maybe a problem you don't like to admit about when it comes to Steam sales, read this list. It may help you become a better person.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope it'll become a better person.
That was the idea, is to help
Right.
people.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really spend a lot during the last.
I didn't either.
I'm hoping the Christmas one is.
I actually
better.
spent more on everything not on Steam.
I'm glad that at least one other person here didn't actually buy something because I got shit last week for not having bought anything. I
bought a couple things, but I
He
didn't-
bought some things.
depressed. I got nothing. I mean, that was-
Depression.
yeah.
I did nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Dave still bought stuff. He just didn't. You bought nothing.
I bought nothing.
Which is, yeah.
I did
what
not
do you do?
contribute to the economy at all.
Yeah, this is why we're in the dire straits that we are. It's because
That's it.
You
need
realize
to-
Gabe is not very happy with you, right? You didn't buy any of his...
That's right.
his
I
games.
realize that. I'm perfectly okay with offending
Uns Geben
Yeah.
is not pleased.
Yes.
the deity. Yes.
Yes, uns Geben. Anywho, so now that we got that out of the way, and Fallon is displeased the Gabe.
Yes.
Yes.
The Gabe. That's in quotations right there.
Duh,
Gabe.
duh, Gabe.
The Gabe. So what's everybody been playing lately? Brad, why don't we go with you? What have you been doing?
I'm currently, what I'm doing right now is...
Well, you're doing this podcast right now.
Well, I'm doing that, but I'm multitasking, and I'm setting up my shop for, or, what the hell is this that I'm playing? Oh, the Tiny Tower version
what is
of
it
Death
that I'm
Star.
playing?
What am
It's
I
Death
doing
Star
right now?
Tiny Tower. I'm playing it right now, and you guys
What
are
are you-
interrupting me.
What are you playing? Teeny Tiny?
It's Tiny Tower, but it's
the Death Star Tiny Tower.
Yeah, I'm playing that right now currently.
Right this second, you're like, I
right
get
this second.
level.
I'm actually taking a man to level 30 in the elevator.
I have no idea what that means.
Hi,
you have to put
guys.
that in
Sounds wrong.
Oh, it does.
Taking a man to level
Taking
30.
a man in an elevator to level 30.
You have to
That's
pay
how I
extra for that.
roll.
You're right.
Yes, I charge for that. It's a steep price. I'm a bastard.
You're a bastard.
I've been playing the Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. Not really. It's just like Batman. Kind of
Average,
Batman.
ordinary Batman.
Yeah, average, ordinary. Because it's not Kevin Conroy still.
No, it's not.
I want
They
some
should-
DLC. Give me some fucking DLC with his
I would
voice.
pay for that.
I
I
would.
would pay a couple bucks for to replace it with Kevin Conroy.
Absolutely. Give it to me.
I
Simpsons
wondered
tapped
if I
out
wasn't tempted.
because
Right.
it's the holiday season.
Right.
Dave's ready to
I was about
launch.
to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
it's
I'm not gonna say too much about it. I'm gonna let Dave. Dave plays way more Simpsons taps out than I do. I play every 12 hours literally because I send my people to go do that shit for 12 hours because I'm too lazy.
There you go.
I'm still trying to figure out the secret world. Is it an MMO? Is it a single player game? I don't know still.
That's the one with all the
doesn't-
secret societies, right?
Yeah,
Having war
I mean,
over each other.
I like the concept. I mean, the
Don
gameplay,
your cult robes.
the gameplay's good. The way you
Right.
turn in quests is even better. Probably the best I've had.
Well, explain this way because I have not played it.
Basically, what happens because it's in modern society, when you finish the quest, you hit send a report on your cell phone, and then it
that
pops
is
up and you
awesome.
pick your reward. Yeah, you don't have to go
awesome.
back to said person.
Right, you don't have to
So you
actually
can get a
come
bunch
back
of
to the
quests.
person.
You get a
That
bunch
is
of quests and just
amazing.
go out into the world, do them, and when they're done, it pops up. You send your fucking report, and you're done. So it's nice.
I don't think every quest is like that, though.
No, it's not. It's
I don't
just a
think
few.
so.
Well, at least the
I
ones
haven't
in this
played
first.
for a while.
There's
No,
not.
I've
Cell,
only
what you're
played a
saying is
little
there's
bit.
not cell towers everywhere, and then
Well,
sometimes
no.
you just
Sometimes
don't
you have to do.
signals.
It's like any other game. Sometimes you have to gather things.
So you have to
bring this
physically.
back.
Oh
that
yeah, I
person.
had that like the papers when you for the doctor when you collected all the papers, you had to go back to his house to access them on the computer.
Right.
That makes sense, but I didn't have to.
Yeah, because I know there's a quest early on that you have to gather up materials to do crafting, that kind of thing. You have to go
Right.
back to a crafting station.
Well, that's the thing. They've changed that. The gun, the crafting material is right there. You just pick up the shotgun. They give
Oh,
you a
well, that's
busted
nice.
shotgun like right there now.
I haven't played in a while, so
So,
I'm sure they have.
I'm
Here's a
still.
mechanic, if I can interrupt you for just
Oh,
a second. Here's a
no.
mechanic that I think is actually really good in that game that you just described. I mean, it's one of those things where you have the mechanic of, okay, we just want you to be able to say the quest is done. And that's all well and good. And a game could easily just say, well, your quest is done. But instead, they build it in a way that it's like, okay, this makes sense with the continuity of the world. Like, okay, I have a cell phone. It's modern times. Okay, I can go ahead and send it on my cell phone. Or I can access the computer. That works. In other words, they blend in, what is actually the world with the mechanics itself of having to go back and do this thing or not having to go back and do it.
Yeah,
I just
it
think
is
that's cool.
nice.
Yeah.
No, that's very cool.
I'm still in the first little town because I can't quite figure out what I'm doing. Like I got the combat, I've got all how to do the quest and everything. I just haven't quite. Is this an MMO or is this a single player game?
It's both.
It's both.
Both.
It is.
It's
No, it is
both, but I'm leaning. I would really like it to be more MMO, and it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
So
I
what
don't
you're
know.
saying is this? It just doesn't. It doesn't force you into.
Yeah, it doesn't force you into doing anything with other
grouping.
people, but there
Right.
are other people running around.
So it's just kind of like
So-
everyone's playing single player games.
Kind
Well,
of.
when it starts out, most of the quests you can do by yourself.
Yeah.
That changes
Okay.
as you go.
Maybe I
as
just
you
need
go
to,
along.
just get through that first little town, and
Yeah,
because I think that's
the
a little
game.
starter area type deal. You get your
Yeah.
weapons and you get some quests, and it's all kind of real easy.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it gets a lot harder.
all right.
I sure hope.
Me too, because I like the game. It seems fun, but I'm waiting for the MMO part to kind of kick in.
Right.
And then I've been playing the 8-bit MMO because Dave despises it so much.
So just purely out of spite.
Just purely
is
out of
why-
spite. I play
Okay.
this game for 15 minutes a day just so I can say Dave doesn't like it.
Dave doesn't like it, and I'm playing it, which
Yes.
bothers him.
I think maybe I should start frapping it and sending it to
Sending it
email
directly
directly
to
to Dave. Be like,
Yeah,
Dave,
'cause
watch
I'll-
me play.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he won't.
I'm about as likely to watch that as I am Honey Boo Boo, which is to say
You're
not
like,
at all. So.
let me subject myself to some torture.
There you
Now.
go. There you go. The other thing I almost thought about doing in the middle of the week, I had my nephew down here and he was playing Batman. Is we might do the 4-year-old, watch a 4-year-old play Batman.
All right,
I might
let's
have to
do that.
fraps that.
I want to see a 4-year-old.
4-year-old play Batman. Yeah,
That sounds
should
great.
should be fun.
I want to see the results. I want to see how much of a. He'd probably kick our asses.
He's still trying to figure out how to move Batman and the camera at the same time. So I think we're okay.
Man, we think we're
for
okay
another
on that
couple
one.
weeks.
That's
But
good.
once he gets it down, we're screwed. So,
Once he turns 5, we're doomed.
yeah,
damn
pretty
it.
much. Let's start him off young.
Right. All
But
right.
that's it for me.
And Dave, well, how about you?
Oh,
you know Simpsons tapped out.
Simpsons tapped out. It's Christmas time,
You're right.
so you got Christmas presents you got to tap on. You get gift cards.
You just went straight from like Halloween to Christmas. There was no
Yeah,
break
pretty
in
much.
Well, there was
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, but you had to actually participate in Thanksgiving stuff.
Did you?
Yeah, there was like quests for Thanksgiving and stuff.
It was actually quests.
Yeah,
is
save
it
turkeys
sad
and
that I'm
things.
still doing quests for Thanksgiving and it's Christmas?
Those turkeys.
No, so you have to collect gift cards and you can get different Christmas items,
Right.
including the Springfield Mall and things like that. So
Oh, well,
I'm playing that. Planetary Annihilation, I'm still playing that.
I know. You talk about it every time.
Yeah, well, I just want to play. You asked me what I play, I told you what I
Hey,
play.
I'm just want to say, I'm trying to establish a monster hunter for all of you. Like that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to pick.
Why?
it.
Because you don't like it when we all gang up on you and you're gay
Exactly.
monster
So I
hunter?
need to
Yeah.
pick one for all
Oh,
of you
okay.
to
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Just level on
And
the playing
I'm
field.
trying to think what else. Something I can't talk about. So. I signed an NDA. What can I say? So.
Ah, God damn it! I can't wait till that's lifted. There's just going to be an episode where we have Dave just talk about this one thing for the.
I will have
entirety of-
plenty to talk about.
Dave's just like, let me just rant for about an hour here. The
Cool.
Dave exclusive episode.
I'm going to go ahead and make a pizza during that episode.
Yeah, we don't need to be here. Dave's just going to talk about all the different things. All right, so Fallon, how about you?
paper writing. However,
How's that as a game? What's the end?
That sounds like a really shitty game that I don't want anything to do with.
That's like what-
Now, there's a certain degree of organization and crafting to it that you have to level up in and everything like that, And when you actually really hit it, it's like watching dominoes fall. I imagine myself in a moment of delusion as V in V for Vendetta, where he sets up all the dominoes and just watches them all.
What people don't know is this is a Sega Saturn exclusive. If you don't remember, this was a Sega Saturn exclusive.
Oh, see, that's the problem. I never owned one of those.
That's right. Nobody had a Sega Saturn,
Exactly
so you
right.
never knew about
Shit, I'm going to have to go out and get one.
it. Go have to get one. Go
There's
write
a place
papers.
in town that sells them. These guys got 2 of them. Just hanging out.
He's got just 2 of them.
He's got 2 of them hanging out.
There's only one game worth getting, and that's Night. And that's it. It's just Night. That's the only game worth getting.
What about the game Fallon's playing? That sounds pretty boring as fuck.
Well, I mean, you have to find. You have to. You have to find one. Is the problem.
They only had like 5 copies ever made. So I've got one of
eBay,
them.
here I come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Paper
I've
writing.
got the doctoral expansion, pack.
Oh.
So.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, that sounds
because if you
expensive.
remember correctly, Sega was the first ones that had expansions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
right.
you could remember Sonic and Knuckles, you could put the cartridge on top of the cartridge.
That's right.
And you would
That's
get
what's
Knuckles.
going
So
on
yeah,
there.
they had the
So I've got
expansion.
like 3 expansions on top here because that's
How's
like
the
the number
score-
of expansions for.
I gotta
for
know, how's the scoring in that game work? Like, how do you progress? Is it like football where it has like semesters instead of seasons?
Yeah, it's more like one of those racing games where like you have just enough time on the clock to make it to the next checkpoint, and then if you do, you get a few more seconds on the clock to make it to the next checkpoint, and it's kind of just how it goes.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So, yeah.
We got to pick this game up. Doctoral experience
Yeah,
one.
exactly right. So every now and then, when I get I get tired of playing this game. There's actually another game that I actually like load up real quick. It's called Little Inferno. Something came out a little while ago on Steam, and basically all it is a fireplace. It's a cartoony fireplace, but it's a fireplace. And one of the things you can actually order from the catalog are files on your computer, and you can take your file on the computer and throw it into the fire. So there's nothing I like more than just taking a paper file and buying it in the catalog and throwing it into the fire and watching it burn.
How much do you pay for this?
You don't. It's like coins in a game, so it's not like real money or anything.
It's just an in-game currency
Yeah.
that you use to purchase them.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, when you told me about it, I was like, does it actually delete the file?
Yeah, it doesn't actually delete the. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. So
I think
not that I'm aware of.
That's like that one game they came out with that gives you consequences every
yes,
time.
Yes.
Every time you kill an enemy, it deletes a random file on your computer.
Yeah, it's like a version of what is it called? The aliens coming, Galaga or something like that.
Galaga, yeah.
And the aliens are coming down. Except every alien is a file on your computer. So every alien you shoot and kill, a file gets deleted on your computer. So
it's a game of consequences.
Yeah.
Whoops, there goes Windows.
That's right, exactly.
I'm just waiting for System 32 to get deleted.
Right?
It's downhill from there. Your game crashed. Oh, God. That would be so much disappointment. That's something you got to prank on somebody. You're like, yo, you got to check out this new game I found.
Just ruin their entire computer with it.
God.
Oh, God. So, what I've been playing is mostly I've been doing... I just recently, for some reason, got back into Orcs Must Die 2. I got through, like, most of the game, but there's a couple levels I had left, and I don't know why I just decided to start playing them again. That game is fun. If you like tower defense games, play Orcs Must Die 2. Brad, did you ever get that from the Humble Bundle?
No, I didn't.
No? I should mention, though, you could pick it up as part of the Humble Bundle and, pay like $5 and get a bunch of other good games. The Humble Bundle, right now, is really good. So check that out. Yeah, there's like Sanctum, which is another tower defense-esque game. And so is Orcs Must Die. There's Magicka, which is an amazing multiplayer game. And Natural Selection, which is like Aliens vs. Predators, but new. So there's that.
But new.
I'll have to try Magic again, because I tried it before and I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, you let me know if you want to play it, because I got the Vietnam version, and I haven't done that one yet.
I think I have that one, too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and you only need one person to have the Vietnam version for you all to play it.
Oh.
So
okay.
Maybe that should be our drunk game we play.
Maybe.
Magic is a really good one, and oh yeah, we should do Magicka. All right, we'll think about it. And beyond from that, I've been playing Phoenix Wright. So that's a lawyer game. It's as hard as that is to explain. You play as a lawyer, and you battle in court. And then Super Mario 3D World I just got, which is, I love Mario, but that is a great drinking game, by the way. There are so many opportunities to get drunk during that game. It gives you a scoring system for when you're all playing, so that way you can always drink if you're the winner or the loser. Then on top of that, you get whoever's the winner gets a crown. So you set up rules where, like, if you knock the crown out of them, you have to, they have to drink and all that. And anytime you die, you have to drink. So it works out. You get drunk pretty fast with that game. Only a couple levels in, you're like, fuck, I am wasted.
There you go.
Yeah, that worked out great. That's definitely a fun game to drink. Like most Nintendo games, I think a lot of people don't realize are great for drinking. Like
Especially Mario Kart, Rainbow
Mario
level.
Kart.
Every time you fall off, take a drink.
Yeah,
I think it's really possible to drink pretty easily for most games in general.
Yeah, but it's just the only reason I say Nintendo games is they're one of the few games out now still that are like all about like local co-op, like sitting on the couch with friends, rather than just like playing online and doing it.
Yeah.
And obviously, drinking always goes better when you're with friends.
Right.
So that's why they always work out the best. Plus, Mario Kart has people have memories of that game. It's a lot of like rose-colored glasses when playing Mario Kart. But beyond from that, so WildStar did a big NDA drop for some selective press. So I just want to get like what's everyone's opinions, like initial opinions of WildStar from the first 15 minutes. If you watch the video, what do you think?
The first 15 minutes, I couldn't get past the first 5 minutes.
Because of the guy talking?
I wanted to punch him in his face. I really did. It's just like you're trying too hard, dude. Let the game talk for itself and just,
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Just note
Shut
what
the
you're
fuck
doing.
up. And then he didn't even make a rock guy. He made some fucking thing with a tail.
I wanted
So therefore, I was already angry about that. So, I mean, he's just doing it wrong.
And somewhere out there's like the polar opposite Brad that would be saying if he made a rock guy, like, damn it, he didn't make the fucking furry thing that I wanted to say.
No,
you're absolutely right. Yeah, there's some guy out there like, why are you making a rock guy?
Yeah. The other Brad.
The other Brad. We don't talk about him.
Earth 2 Brad.
Yeah.
So is it an
Brad.
Exile person or was it a Dominion person?
They have one of both, I think.
Yeah, I think there's one of both, but
Yeah. MMORPG.com has Exiles, and then another website had Dominion.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
but you're
they were
playing
allowed to-
Exiles, which is otherwise known as Team R, right?
What do you mean by Team R?
Team R. You know, like rock people and rabbit people and rotting people.
Oh, yeah,
and
our
regular
team, yeah.
people.
Yeah, regular people, rock people, rabbit people, and rock people.
No,
Yes.
rotting people.
Rotting
Rotting
people,
people.
yeah. Yeah, Team R. Yeah, we never figured out what Dominion is.
Yeah, I couldn't assign.
Yeah, because there's like furry things, there's like hamsters,
Yeah.
and
I
then
never heard
normal
that Team
people.
R thing before. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Team R.
You're welcome.
So we
I
got to
never
really
even
come
thought
up
of
with
that. That's interesting.
We'll post what Team R is on the when we put this thing up. Just Team R. We need to
There you
come
go.
up with whatever the Dominion is.
Yeah, I'm having
they have-
trouble with that one.
Well, they have normal people, mechanical people.
The satyr
then
people, which are like goat people or whatever. I don't know what they look like.
They're like
Yeah, but I do have to say the one with the chick with the horns and the mohawk was pretty cool.
which one?
I don't know. In the video, he was going through all of them, and like the one that came out for the auto select
the
was
satyr people he was talking
yeah,
about.
the satyr
yeah.
people. Yeah, had the mohawk and the
Yeah,
horns.
they're like
and that looked
kitty,
pretty cool.
cat, goat people, like
You know, whatever they are.
whatever they
Something.
are. Yeah, and then the furry things. Then you got like the hamster people. Yeah, I don't
The
know how they work.
hamster people.
Yeah, I know a
Is
lot of
that
people are going to be
PC?
playing them.
Is that? I don't think you can say hamster people.
Is that like
Is
that
wrong?
offensive?
I
Is
think
that
that's
offensive to some
I
people?
think that is.
No, you can't say hamster people.
Yeah, I
What,
don't think-
what
I
are
don't
they
think
then?
you can.
What are they then?
I don't
Like,
know. I'm just saying. I don't think you can say hamster people.
Small
okay?
mammals.
There you
Small
go.
mammal people.
You're suddenly stumping for hamster people. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
represent.
right.
You got to draw the line somewhere, you know.
Right.
But
You have to.
I think it was. It was like first 15 minutes. It was like neat. I mean, it's neat to see it, but I'd rather fucking play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
I know.
Fucking
I know.
assholes.
It's like, oh, it's neat that you're telling us all this, but like, when is the game coming out?
Spring 2014.
Spring 20 never. Is
Yeah, probably. That would be my guess at this point.
Yeah, it'll come out whenever we randomly announce that it
Because
will
remember,
be.
we were already supposed to be playing this game.
That's right.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
So,
pissed
spring
off. I'm
20
tired of
spring-
waiting.
Spring 2014, we'll get there. We'll be like, and now it's summer 2014.
No, no, spring
Brad
2014
will
will
like,
be open
Why
beta."
is this game not released yet? I'm so
I
angry.
can tell you exactly when the game's going to come out.
If we-
Before Hearthstone comes out of beta.
Yeah, bullshit.
well, we're gonna use that to segue into our topic today.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
See, I'm
Why, you
good at
don't
that.
listen to me bitch about the game that WildStar still isn't fucking out?
We have several months to go that you have plenty of opportunity
Okay.
to complain about
Okay.
all this.
Well,
So,
he will
you know,
take
just-
every opportunity. He won't miss an opportunity to
Right.
take an
I'm with
opportunity.
We're not-
Fallon. I'm really not going to. Every time it's
we are
brought up, I'm
not
gonna have to say
concerned
something.
about missing this topic.
No.
Really.
No,
Yes.
not.
We know it'll be covered episode into episode.
Yes.
So, yeah, we wanted to talk about Hearthstone today. So let's just dive right in and go. What
Hearthstone.
do you like? What? Oh God.
Jesus Christ. not this shit again.
All right.
This is going to be done.
I want to pose a question to our listeners about this. I know it's supposed to be pronounced Hearthstone, but I explicitly remember always hearing Hearthstone in World of Warcraft when it was referenced. So,
I don't
how
remember
do you?
ever hearing this?
I always heard it.
I think it is. There's, what was that, Switcher? When the guy goes from whatever to a paladin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says Hearthstone. not
Yeah, I
Hearth.
believe he does.
Yeah, so I want to know, how do you pronounce it? Like, send in your answers. Is it Hearth or Hearth? This
And then-
isn't about if it's right or not. It's just how do you
Part
pronounce it.
2 of this, though, when you answer it, is how much have you been drinking that day when you answered this question? Because
Please
It's a
leave
minimum
that
of 2 drinks.
determines-
It's 2 drink minimum for any
It
video.
determines how you pronounce it as well. Because
Yes,
the more
understand that there's no
alcohol you have
penalty
in
for
your
not
system-
drinking. Okay, Mitch is pronouncing it this way, totally sober.
Right. I'm totally sober pronouncing it this way.
No,
This
but
is-
it's a
been
2
dropping
drink
his head a
minimum
lot,
for
too.
any video sent in.
this is, I think, really what you're seeing here, Fallon, is like a World of Warcraft dialect.
Yes,
Is what
I
we-
know.
yes.
That's what we Mitch and I got into this discussion because I mentioned that the fascinating aspect here, and this takes dialect studies into a whole new field. I know that there's some
Professor
scholar-
Food is on the
I
case,
know,
don't
there's
worry.
some scholar out there that's going to spend his dissertation, or like researching dialects in online games, and that's just going to be an entire dissertation topic right there.
It's going to be an entire book of acronyms.
That's right. That's right. It's going to take linguistics to the next level in video games.
There you go. But yeah, I'm just curious how they pronounce it. Is it do you say hearth or hearth? So yeah, get back to us on that. We're curious. So anyway, initial impressions of the game. Let's go around the table. Brad, again, you're part of this table.
Oh, I'm part of this table?
Yeah. Well, welcome to the table.
What I like about the game is that you have almost access to all the cards. And if you want that card, you can make that card.
Right.
So you can make your own cards?
You can make your own cards, which is nice. You can break down other cards you're not using from a different deck, collect the dust, and make a different card.
They have a crafting system
that
you can use.
Which is nothing. Which is nice.
It's neat, although the prices are like crazy.
Yeah, what you get for what you for some of the cards you disenchant and then you want to make another card is kind of outrageous.
Do you know what you're getting from the card you break down?
Yeah, you know the amount.
Yeah, you know the amount before you even do it.
It's based off its rarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the rarer the card, the more dust you'll get, and the rarer the card you want to make, the more dust it takes.
So you get a certain amount of dust, and you can buy another card with your dust.
You literally get 1/4 of the value of making it.
Pretty much.
So really, you buy other cards with your dust.
You don't buy, you make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you're not buying.
So if I disenchanted a card and wanted to make another card, let's say I disenchant a bunch of commons, I think you get like 20.
Yeah, like because it costs 100 to make a common. That's 25 maybe. Because everything seemed to be 1/4 of what it was worth.
But it doesn't sound to me like there's elements to a card or anything else. What you're doing is essentially buying with your dust the qualities of the other card, right?
Well, it just depends. I mean, you could break down commons to make another common card. It's just not in the set you have. Like, if you got a shaman deck and you want to make one of the shaman cards, you could take something out of the, let's say you're never going to play a priest deck. So you could break down all your priest cards, use that dust, and make your shaman card.
Right. It's essentially currency to, like, buy cards.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
you're getting exactly what you want versus paying 100 gold and getting a pack of cards and hoping you get that card.
Exactly.
It's kind of like when you're in Magic the Gathering. You could go out and buy 40 packs and pray to God you get card you want, or you can go to a website like Star City Games and just buy the fucking card you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just
That's essentially what it is. Instead of Blizzard having an in-game store and saying this is how much individual cards cost based on what users are using and buying, they're just saying, you know what, we're not going to deal with that. You can either buy packs and hope you get it, or break down cards you're not using and make it and get it now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it is nice that they have that.
It is nice.
I do like that, but yeah, the costs sometimes are like absurd, even though it's 1/4. But like, I have one legendary card, and to make a legendary card, it costs like 1,600 dust. Well, to get rid of one legendary card, if I disenchanted it, it's only 400.
Ooh.
yeah.
So it's like, ooh,
that system of what you get from the cards you disenchant is kind of broken.
Yeah, I mean, they do give you more. The game itself has holographic cards, like their version of holographic cards. They have gold cards, and if you disenchant a gold card, you get like a crap ton more dust.
Yeah.
But it's just they're so fucking rare to get. You're never like you'll get maybe once in a blue moon you'll get a gold card. So I just want my goddamn freaking King Dread for my hunter deck. God damn it! But no, I have to have Baron Geddon. I want Baron Geddon.
Right. The packs. I mean, you get 5 cards. What for $1.99?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 5 for $1.99.
I mean, you look at Magic. A pack is $3, $3 to $4, and you're getting 15 cards.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot more to Magic than there is to, Hearthstone.
And something to consider with Magic is that you like every pack you get. There's usually a good portion of it is like land.
Well,
there's only one land card.
You usually only get one.
Is it really only one?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've purchased.
Yeah, you only get one land card per pack.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Unless you get, well, the thing is now they have a lot of what's called dual lands, where you get a land that can tap for
like
one
a
of
half
2
and half
colors. Yeah,
land.
There's a
you could get that.
You can put it in your coffee.
You can get one of those lands and then a regular land.
The creamer land
in a pack. Yeah, creamer land.
I would call it the creamer lands.
Sure. You can get one of each in those, but I mean that's pretty rare.
Right.
That's only in the booster packs, though, right? It's not like in the regular packs. Yeah.
No, I mean that's the thing. That's all there is booster packs.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
you
no-
won't ever get one in like a pre-built deck, will you?
Pre-built deck, what? Yeah, you're gonna get the land you need.
No. Pre-built. Okay, you remember how they still have those, right? Like
Yeah, you can
expert
get what
decks?
you can call what they have now is they've got the 5 colors, so they do what's called the intro packs.
Right.
If you get the intro packs, you get a pre-built deck ready to go with everything you need, and then 2 boosters inside that.
Oh, so the boosters could have.
So the
one
boosters
of
will
those.
come with at least 2 lands because you've got 2 packs.
Okay.
But you're in the deck itself, the intro deck will have all the land you need.
That I know. I was just wondering if there was half and halves you could get in the. If they ever put any of those in the intro deck, or those like really rare.
Yeah, no, some of them are. Some are better than others. Like now they have what's called the dual land, and then you have the offshoot of a dual land. The dual land will have
The
both
tri-land.
well, not really the
No,
tri-land, but
damn.
basically what it is anybody that plays Magic will know you'll get what the dual land that actual is dual land will say it is a plains and a forest, where
Right.
the counterpart to that, the one that's more common than that one, doesn't say it's just a land.
Right.
So it's used for specific cards. So
Oh, okay.
and
I see what
used-
you're getting at.
yeah. So it's different.
Anyway. Yeah.
So you got
So-
your common and your uncommon, basically. You've got the uncommon version where it's labeled, and the common version where it's just a land. You can tap for either color, but it's not specific enough to be pulled out of a deck by a spell.
Right. I was just thinking though why I brought that up was the whole thing was like when you said 15, I'm like, oh, probably a couple of those are lands, so they don't. Like that's not that big of a deal. Even if you get more cards, lands are just lands. But if you only get
like
one,
here in
then
her,
yeah.
you're only getting one, so you're getting 14 cards,
Mm-hmm.
and you get one land. Where in Hearthstone you don't need land.
Right. You don't need. You got
You
mana
get
crystals.
you get
so.
mana crystals each turn, which is another thing. There's no mana ramping, unless you go second. You'll get one. I don't
Actually,
know.
if you play Druid, you can.
You can mana ramp.
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of Druid moves that they won't like add more permanently. Actually, there is actually one card that will add more permanently. But what you can do is you get a lot of temporary boosts for your mana. So you could get like this turn you have 8 mana crystals or something like that, and it could be like turn 2. And you could
shit.
drop something heavy like
Wow,
that if
yeah,
you have the card.
Fucking drop something heavy on somebody.
Yeah, so there's Druid. Druid has a lot of like have 2 extra mana crystals for this turn, or maybe like you could use. I know there's one that you can expend all your mana crystals, play a card, and it refills them all.
Oh Jesus!
So you could just like, oh yes, let's just do everything again and destroy everything.
God.
So there's a lot of Druid
that-
if you want a mana ramp.
I need that in my shaman deck.
Well, no, shamans are all about restricting. They're all about like removing mana to have like a limited boost in power.
Yeah, gives
Like,
you
so you-
overload.
yeah.
You get a lot of overload in the
Right.
shaman
You
deck.
you pay up front to get a real big boost early,
Yeah,
but then you have to pay for it later by having limited mana next turn.
yeah.
So
I mean, the game's not bad. I mean,
no, it's not.
I don't know.
Let's get Dave's impression. Dave, what's your thoughts on Hearthstone?
Why is it still in beta? This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The game works fine.
Who's making the game, Dave?
Well, it is Blizzard, so I
That's why it's
I
fucking
expect to come out of
Right,
beta
have
3 years
the
time.
15-year
Here's what's going to
development
happen.
cycle.
The same thing always happens with Blizzard game. It's in beta forever, and by the time it comes out, everybody's sick of it, and they don't play it anymore.
That's right.
There you go.
It's kind of like when they do a WoW expansion. Everybody gets in the beta, and then the expansion comes out, and 6 days later, everybody's like, I did everything, I'm bored now.
Right.
That's how
I don't understand this development cycle. It makes no sense to me. I don't think that it's gone into open beta yet, has it? I know what they said.
I know they're
It-
handing out. They're
it's
handing
like
out
in some
shit
weird-
left and right.
Yeah, it's some weird closed beta. Some Fox beta. Fox closed beta.
Yeah, but my point is, and I think you all agree, the game works fine. I've had no problems with it. It's never crashed.
Right.
They rebalance the cards. Guess what? They rebalance stuff in WoW.
Yeah. That's going to
It's-
happen.
that's
It's
going to
going
be
to
an
happen while
ongoing
the game is
thing.
out. That's
Right.
Yeah,
what
that's going to be an ongoing thing. So to me, this whole beta thing is like a waste of time. Release the game.
Right. You could be
The
working
game
on
is
making-
actually-
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. What does Blizzard do? They
Well,
drop
they-
games on other games to fuck other developers.
They
Look
do
at
pizza. They have
look
pizza
at
parties.
what the fuck? 38 Studios. Fuck Reckoning. What'd they drop on Reckoning? Fucking Diablo.
Yeah.
Diablo hasn't been
Yeah.
out for how long? 10 fucking years, and they wait for Reckoning
Right.
to come out and
Like,
drop
that
it on
was a
that
threat.
same fucking day.
Just bastards.
38
So-
Studios screwed themselves, but
Well,
yeah,
they did screw themselves, but it didn't help the fact that Diablo came out on the same day.
But
for
the-
Yeah,
the
Brad's
thing
right.
is-
He's right. There's a timing thing going on there, and Blizzard
They-
definitely takes advantage of it.
Well, what are
every
they
single
waiting
time.
for? Well, I mean, what's coming? Nothing.
They're waiting for WildStar.
Hex
That's
or
it.
something. They're waiting
Wild
for-
Star.
No, think about it. Think about
I don't think
WildStar
Hearthstone
is going to be a
and note
monthly.
I said
a month-
Hearthstone is not going to compete with WildStar. It's two entirely different games.
Says you.
No, says you. Says you. Look what happened with Diablo and fucking.
The only thing I could think of was Hex, but that's so far
But
out.
yeah,
Oh,
they're
Hex,
still in.
man.
yeah,
They're not.
that's-
Yeah. If
Hex
they
is
wait
like-
until Hex, they will shoot themselves in the foot.
yeah.
That will fuck them. Even
That's-
though this
that's
game
not-
is
that's-
free to play,
That's not
and
beyond the
by
realm of
time Hex
possibility.
came out, everybody would be in beta.
Yeah, that's not beyond the realm of possibility, though. I mean, look at Heroes of the Storm.
It could
Oh,
be.
Jesus. Yeah, what the fuck are they waiting for?
I don't know.
Speaking of waiting on
Does that even
games,
still exist?
yeah, it's still in development somehow.
Somehow. It got a
Somehow.
different name now.
Yeah. But the thing is that Hearthstone is. I like it. I think it's way easier to play than Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Way easier. Like,
You can hop in and you're like,
yeah,
boom,
you can
I know what's
hop in.
going
Like,
on.
if you even if you've never played one of these games, it's not going to take you long to figure out the basics.
Right.
No.
Putting together a deck that's competitive, that is a little more challenging.
Yeah, that 30 card limit.
Yeah, it's a little.
I've
yeah,
run
it's
into that hard.
30
Yeah,
card limit, and
that's a
you
little
only have
tougher.
2 of each card, yeah.
But I do what I normally do. Like if I'm making a build in a MMO or whatever, I look on the web for good ones.
Right, and
'Cause-
then you tweak it from there.
Let me
yeah,
ask
tweak
you-
it from there
let me
because I
ask a
found like
question.
I've been playing mainly mage deck, and I
Right.
found one that I liked, and I just changed out a couple cards, and I win more than I lose, which is all I care about.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
fun game. I really like it. It's cool that it's free to play, and that it's cool that you can earn gold in the game to buy new cards, so you realistically never have to spend any money on it unless you really want to,
Yeah.
which I'm all for because I'm a cheap-ass bastard.
We're all cheap bastards. Yeah.
And,
That's why we
you
wait
know.
for Steam sales.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
if you
really
had-
like it a lot. I've been playing it. I like it too because it's the kind of thing where I can play for like a half an hour, and then go away from it. It's not like WoW where like if you only play for a half hour, you've accomplished nothing.
Pretty much.
So,
Play
so
Hearthstone
compare
for
this.
Accomplish
Compare
wasting
this.
time.
Compare this with traditional card games. I mean, basically, like Magic the Gathering or whatever. Is this kind of game going to change the market for that? I mean, essentially, is it
No,
going to make one
not
thing
for me.
irrelevant, or are they both serving
Magic
different
is a
purposes?
juggernaut that this
Will
is
not
gonna
topple.
knock off.
Yeah,
This
will
this
not
may
topple.
this may slow down like the online game.
Right, but not
But
the
if,
card game.
if I'm playing Hearthstone and my buddy calls me up last minute, hey, want to come to my place? I'm getting some buddies together and play some Magic. I will ultimately Alt F4 and go play Magic.
Go
yeah,
play Magic.
Okay.
same here.
Okay.
No
It's-
problems.
yeah.
This will
It's
this
different things.
Hearthstone will not keep me from anything else because there's first of all there's no shit talking. There's,
Which,
there's-
as we've
there's no-
discussed
if,
before,
if
is a
you
big
cannot
problem.
shit talk in a card game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, there's a sense, there's an element, there's a dimension to this game that to card games essentially that is missing from Hearthstone.
I mean, I know like you can't do that in Magic the Gathering because there's no chat system as far as I know.
right,
Right.
Right.
No,
So-
no, it's just
I'm
a
talking
little
about
But that's the
traditional
same
game.
reason I don't
I'm
play
talking about-
Magic the Gathering online either because there's no chat system.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just those
Would you
little
play it
bubbles.
online more if there was a chat system?
Yeah, if I can talk shit to them, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I could just sit there and
But
fucking
at the
yell
same
at them
time,
the whole
I'd probably
time.
just play with my buddies that I play Magic with regularly.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, you take they pretty much taken the social aspect of the card game away, which
Which
for
is a
me,
big deal.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
definitely-
what I
you
was
need to-
getting.
If
Yeah,
I
it's like,
can't tell
okay,
you that
yeah.
move sucked, then
Yeah.
I can't.
You know how many times while I'm playing and I just want to be like, oh, you made a grave mistake.
Well, you can. You can.
Fell
you,
right into my trap,
You
good
can
sir.
with the little what was it 6 or 8 fucking little dialogues they give you if you right click on your avatar.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
not enough.
There's where is the you fell into my trap? Like I want that dialogue.
I want the ass hat. You're an ass hat. I want the you're an ass hat button. I want the button that says you're taking too goddamn long too.
You're taking
Hurry
too
up,
goddamn
I
long.
hate you.
You have, I mean, I understand maybe with when you get like maybe past 5.
Right.
You get past 5 crystals and now you're kind of like shit. I just got this really good card in my hand, but I could also play this for my hand.
Right. Once you actually have choices.
Between 1 and 5,
I'm
you
falling
don't
asleep
do
here.
nothing. You have no choice. You just play what's in your fucking hand or quit.
Not
the
only
game.
that, but I mean, the 30 card limit, you really know your cards.
Right.
And it's just like you know what's in your deck. Yeah, I don't get to take it a long time either.
The
I
only-
really haven't run into that. I know other people have. I really haven't had that
God, I
problem.
forgot it. There's a warlock that's actually in the forums. I wrote down his
It's like
name
I found this man
because
and I fucking
I've
hunted
played
him
this
down
man
and tell
before.
him.
He does not click end turn. He will make his move real quick
That's a bitch.
and then just let the game go.
He's playing with you psychologically.
wow.
He's
And it's
that's a
just like,
psychological game he's playing.
That's the thing.
Or he's just
If
an idiot.
yeah.
you look at the daily quest,
Right.
and it's always win with a certain class.
Yeah.
Well, me, I just play my shaman deck. My shaman deck.
See,
works
that's what
pretty well.
dailies piss me off in that game.
Well, that's the
because-
thing. People that have that play the mage
Right.
and that want to do the dailies will take their sweet ass time, knowing that people are just like, you're wasting my time, and will concede, and then you get that win.
Yeah.
3 of those in a row, you've got your daily done.
Got your daily done. I really just hate the whole having your class do the daily, because there's certain classes I just don't like playing. Like, it's the same thing when I played Magic. I didn't play certain deck types because I didn't find them fun, or they weren't interesting to me. Like, I never played like water decks.
Yeah, I was about to
for
say
example.
you're not a blue deck player.
No, I'm not.
man,
I never played a
I'd
blue
love to
deck.
get my mill
I
deck
was
on you.
I always played a black and white deck for a
When
while.
it comes to indirect things, Mitch really is lost. He doesn't
No.
get the whole. He doesn't get indirect action. He doesn't get that at all.
I played a black and white deck, and then I also had my red deck that I liked. But those are like my big ones. I was surprising that I never did a green deck, because the way I play in Hearthstone is I'm always minion based.
Right, exactly. I thought,
which is a bit
Yeah,
strange.
but minion base and green takes forever unless you have the right
I'm
cards.
okay with that. I like just that whole, like, every minion helps the other minions out, like and it's just a slowly building just
Well, the other thing I
wall
don't
of
like,
death.
the other
Right.
thing I'm not too fond on is my shaman deck. I got Murloc, and it's
Right.
the Murlocs you get help every other Murloc. So if you run into somebody that's playing almost the same deck but like a mage,
Right.
it's like, fuck, I can't put this card out because they have Murlocs on the board and I'm helping them.
Yeah, that is. I don't know why Murlocs have that whole, like.
Well, so did the Beast.
Can we
Every
get a
other
Murloc
beast-
sound?
Actually,
here?
they got rid of that with Beast. Beast used to have that, but they removed them all.
Yeah, they changed that.
They
Did
changed
they change
Beast.
it?
Yeah, so it's only your Beast.
See, they need
made
to
it.
do that for Murlocs then too.
I'm sure that's coming.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
because I had because I do a Beast deck for my Hunter, and that's like my favorite deck. But they had the hyena, the scavenging hyena.
Yes, your
Yeah.
cadaver-eating
And-
hyena.
It's the best. It's the best fucking card ever. But anyway, it would get like +2/+1 every time a beast died. So if you were playing another hunter and you were able to get that out before anything, you won the game instantly, because you would just kill their beast, and that
There
would
you
level
go.
up your hyena, and then you'd sacrifice your own beast.
Oh,
and
that's
would
like
level
that.
up your
That's like that
hyena.
undead. That undead that you can get to. I think it's in the comment section. Every time a minion dies, it gets +1 to attack.
Yeah, I have that
And-
for my warrior.
Yeah,
Zombie.
you put that thing out quick, and shit just keeps dying. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, if you get it early where there's a lot of level, like 1 or 2
Yep.
minions, you can just clear the
And
board
then
and
then
you have
put
a
that
force.
bitch on. Put a little whirlwind or whatever it is, or was it Wind Fury?
Wind Fury, Wind
So it
Fury.
double attacks. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
That can be
You
fun.
Fuck some shit up.
Oh yeah,
Great.
real quick.
So as far as I like Hearthstone, I mean, I like it as a game, but I think the problem I have with it is I don't like it on the computer. As strange as that is, like, I just don't want to play it on my computer. I don't want to have to sit down and, like, I'm going to play Hearthstone and, like, sit on my computer and play Hearthstone.
Well, the reason I think it came out for computer first and they didn't push tablet is because of all the complaining they get in World of Warcraft.
Could be. I don't know.
When you're waiting for the queue at a level 90 DPS, it's anywhere from, I think it was 3 hours one day. I
Oh,
stayed home
Jesus
Thursday because I
Christ.
wasn't feeling well.
You
It
stayed
was-
home Thursday to wait in line.
Yeah, pretty much. So I've got
sucks.
a 3-hour wait to get into LFR. What the fuck am I going to do? Well, Blizzard wants my money. All that, if you've got that, what is it, the Blizzard launcher thing?
Right.
If you have that, Alt-Tab, your BattleNet thing.
So now all they need to
boom,
do
is now you're in Hearthstone. So now are you in queue in one of their games. Now you're playing another one of their games.
all they need to do, I don't know if you remember this, there was a mod for a UI mod in World of Warcraft. I don't know if it's still around anymore, but basically it gave you small little games to play when you were
when you're
taking
in
the
flight,
taxi.
Yeah.
So all they need to do is take that and let you just pop up Hearthstone.
I don't think they'll go that far, but the Alt-Tab and the fact that you can still hear the queue,
Right.
is what I mean. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if you think about it, if you're just playing the casual, if you're just playing casual and you're not playing ranked, and the queue pops, you're not gonna give a shit if you lose the game.
No, not at all.
You're doing this strictly for something to do while you're waiting for the queue.
I'm killing time.
Pretty much.
Just killing time.
So I think that's a big reason why it's out on here first.
I don't know. I just really want a tablet because I think that's when you can start getting that, like, you know, original card game feel. I mean, I don't know how often people are going to get together with, like, be across the room playing it on their tablets, playing Hearthstone. I mean, it's a neat concept, but I just don't see it happening. Like, when does that situation, you know, actually happen?
Well, I can see that happening. I can see that happening next year.
I just
In
don't
fact,
know
there'll be a
people with
big group of
tablets.
nerds next year if this is out on a tablet doing that exact same thing.
We're going to be at PAX East that
No,
year.
it's
We're
going to
just
be
be playing Hearthstone on our tablets.
It's going to be Nerdtacular,
There you
and
go.
then everybody's going to be doing it there.
There you go.
Guaranteed.
No, that'll definitely a lot
That'll
of people
happen.
be playing because that's where it's going to be fun. Is
Yeah.
where you're like across them and like fuck you with that
Exactly.
move. Like,
There's your shit talking right there. Is when you get the tablet and you're in a room and you're
Sit
just
across
like,
from each
"Screw
other at a
you,
table."
Fallon, you fucking hit me with that shit. Fuck you, you cheater.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
like-
Shit like that.
It's like that one Penny Arcade thing. And it's like that son of a bitch wife using Blizzard. It's such or Fireball. It's so overpowered horseshit. What did you say, honey? And it's like, oh, nothing, dear. Have a good night.
Yeah. Right? Goddamn Fireball taking out my little minions because I can't fucking beef them up yet.
Right. Damn overpowered mages. Just
Yeah.
like, what was that, honey? It's all right, dear. But yeah, I mean that's where Hearthstone's really going to shine is once you finally have the tablet. And I mean, and just kind of to Dave's point where it was this game should be out already. I agree. They could be building it, making it better already. Like they could already be in the process of like, oh well, we're coming out with the next series of cards, or you know now we have 2v2 or
They need
whatever.
to do something. I mean, Magic the Gathering has so many different ways to play.
Yeah.
And if they honestly want to kind of take a little bit of that market, they're going to need to do it. They're going to need to add modes. They're going to need something because, like I said, right now, if I got a phone call right now, I'd quit the fucking podcast, go play Magic.
Go play Magic right
I'll
now.
go play Magic.
Let me just go call Brad's phone real quick and see what happens.
Fucking outta
Brad,
here,
you want to come
bitches.
play some Magic? Out of here.
I'm out of here. Fuck this shit.
But yeah, I want to see 2v2, and I want to see a better ladder system. I really wish it would ladder based off of the type of deck you used rather than just every deck. Kind of like, because I really wish StarCraft would do this too, where like your ladder ranking, you could have a separate one for each race you played. So that way, like, you could be in different skill levels depending on how good you are with that race. You know, like, if I wasn't good at Protoss, I'd be lower than if I was at Terran.
That's an interesting idea.
Well, it should be
Interesting idea, yeah.
Yeah, it should be the same thing in Hearthstone, where it's like, well, I'm really good as a Hunter deck, so I'm way up there on the Hunter deck, but then the Warrior deck, I'm, like, average.
Yeah,
So
I
then
like
I play
that.
people in that. It seems to me it'd be more, you know, it'd be more enjoyable because right now all I do is I only play ranked with the Hunter deck because
Right,
I'm the
because
best at
the
it.
only thing you're good at, and you're ranked according to that, so you almost like are painted into that corner. You almost have to play that deck.
Right,
Yeah.
so, I mean, and then when I play any other deck, I go in unranked mode. Like, just instantly, I click the button off and unrank. So that way, it doesn't affect my rank. I mean, it's something they should consider, I'd like to see. And plus, it needs tournaments. There needs to be some sort of tournament system. Like, I would love if, like, you could put up there, like, create your own tournament, and you could put, like, a prize as the pack of cards. Like, you could set it up all within the game. You know how awesome that would be?
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, oh, we're going to have the Pause Your Game Hearthstone tournament. And it's like, we just set it up in-game. We have people come in, and, like, the winner gets, like, 5 packs of cards or something.
I'll
Like that'd
announce that because I'm not playing this game anymore.
Until Brad gets his tablet version. And
No,
Magic.
not even tablet version. I think I'm
No.
done.
That
I
you're
can't
just done?
handle these slow-ass fucking people. I can't do it.
You need to get that.
You can hear the anguish, the agony in his voice. He's suffered
I just-
enough.
I can't handle it. If you cannot set up at least, the only thing that should ever change is the next card you're drawing. But even then, you're either going to play that card you draw, or you're going to play what's in your hand. And if you've got to fuck around for like 2 minutes in your hand, no, I'm sorry.
Well, you could have
Yeah,
a
I-
timed mode. You could basically have a timed mode where people
Like
agree.
chess, yeah.
Yeah, where it's
They-
like chess. Where it's like you agree on how
they
long
need
you have
something
per turn.
because this whole rope thing that goes across there, on top of the time you've already taken, is just too much.
You need that Nozdormu card that reduces the time they have to make a move.
I need. Oh God.
Yeah,
You
in
need a
case you don't know.
mode. You need a mode.
Well,
to do
yeah,
it,
they
too.
need a mode, but just in case you don't know, Fallon, there's a card that actually, when you put it into play, you get like some like absurdly less time to make a move.
That would be an awesome card to play.
There's like
Alright.
you get like 15 seconds instead.
I'm gonna.
You gotta
Maybe
go
I'll make
card.
that. Maybe I'll look into that and make that deck just to piss people off. Then
Right, the hurry the fuck up.
Hurry the fuck up deck.
because
Yeah.
I'm tired of waiting for you fuckers that don't know how to play a goddamn game.
That would be good. I'd like to play the hurry the fuck up deck.
Boom! 15 seconds. Oh, what are we gonna do now?
Clock's running.
15 seconds. No, you have 2, bitch. Make your move.
now.
Card down now. If you're not making a move currently, the clock already just it turns over.
Yeah,
Time's done.
pretty much.
So, final question before we wrap everything up here is: do you feel tablets might be the future of card games?
I definitely feel they could be.
Everyone else, Brad,
I totally.
I mean, I don't have a
think-
tablet. I have my phablet, so maybe.
your phablet.
I don't. I
It's
guess.
a phone tablet.
I guess because I play so many computer games, I don't really feel the urge to run out and buy one.
Right.
So maybe,
Maybe. Right. All right then.
maybe.
Well, I think that wraps everything up on Hearthstone, unless anybody has any last-minute complaints they want to.
Hurry the fuck up on your turn, asshole!
There you go. Hurry.
Why is
Should be
this
one of
game still in
the
beta?
things when you right click on the icon, it just says that.
Right.
Yeah, I'd pay extra for that.
Yeah. You pay for your.
Well, that's why we're
little-
still in beta. You know, they need
Yeah,
to put
that's
new
right.
chat messages in. It takes a while.
Just need a chat. Just need chat. Like that's all
Next
they need.
year. We'll get to that next year.
That's right.
That'll be in their Heroes of the whatever the fuck it's called.
Right.
Heroes of the Storm or some inclement weather. Heroes of inclement weather.
Yes. But I mean,
And-
the game is nice for being free to play whenever it comes out, like 2085.
Yep.
It'll be,
It's gonna be
be
great
one of
in
those things you do
2085.
when you're not playing Titan, when Titan comes out in, 2183 or
That's
some
right.
I
shit.
was about to say,
Titan-
Titan is not coming out before that.
No. Well, it might. Shit. Who knows?
2090 easily.
No,
Like, that's all-
I know. They scrapped their whole team and started over, I think.
Yeah.
And then this team's gonna die from old age, and then the next team's gonna have to
shit.
start all over.
Right,
I
this
mean,
is
what's
getting
it gonna be
passed
here
down
for a
to
while?
like this generation's children. The
Yeah.
dev teams like next generation. They're breeding right now to make their
They're breeding
future.
the developers.
They're breeding.
Got them in tubes.
What you don't know is in the underground facility, there's just test tube babies being harvested currently
Right.
to create the developers to make this
That's
product.
right. Future Blizzard games, because this game was 3 generations in development.
That's why it took so long, as they had a problem with the harvesting process. So they had to, start from the
They had to
chalkboard.
remove. They had to scrap the whole crop there.
Oh, well then see. Oh, sweet. All right. Now I got to make this card.
Yeah. Brad just
Holy
like
shit.
it's like so out of left field on this card.
Players only have 15 seconds to take their turns. I
I
want
told
this
you, you
card.
gotta make that card. That's all you. That is your card. That's what you
Fuck.
need. Well, okay. Well, we know what Brad's doing now.
Send me money so I can buy cards to disenchant them to make this one.
If you'd like to donate to the Brad Nozdurmo card,
Right? So I'll actually continue to play this fucking game.
And then he's gonna find that warlock bastard.
yeah, we'll find that warlock bastard and somehow figure out how to drop that fucking dude.
Oh,
God, he costs 9 though. Oh, so
Yeah,
you'd
it's a late
actually
game
have to
card.
put him in a fucking druid deck so you could fucking ramp
You
him.
can get him out earlier. Yeah. There you
Oh.
go. Perfect. All right, and with that, I think that's everything as far as we were going to cover on Hearthstone. So, I next week we're going to be doing a drinking episode. Yay, drinking! Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So much enthusiasm.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing a drinking episode. What I wanted to ask, though, because we're still not sure what exactly we're doing. We just know booze is involved. But I wanted to pose the question to everybody, and we'd like to hear your answers, because drinking games are always fun. But what drinking games, like drinking video games, do you play with your friends? And, like, what game is it? What are the rules? We're curious. We want to hear what you play with your friends and drink to, and what crazy, absurd rules have you set up for the game. We were, send them in Twitter, email, whatever. We'd like to put a list together, and then this could be your New Year's guide to how to have fun while drinking. There you go. So because New Year's is around the corner right after Christmas, so you'll be ready to go. There you go. Maybe we should. Yeah, we'll need to invent a New Year's game to play. New Year's drinking game.
Watch college football.
There you go.
That has nothing to do with video games. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless you want to get into that whole legal dispute, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Yeah. So, with that said, we are done this week. We will see you all next week. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
You can reach us at pauseyourgame.com. Feel free to contact us at podcast@pauseyourgame.com and on Twitter @pauseyourgame. If you really enjoyed this show, please rate us on iTunes. It really goes a long way in helping us out. And once again, thanks for listening.